Good morning, everybody. What's going on? Welcome to the new era of Anorax Entertainment. This is Movie Mornings. You guys are the all-stars for joining us today and seeing the very first episode of this. It's going to be a lot of fun. We got some stuff to talk about. I saw The Lat Duel last night. We're going to get into that. Jose has finally watched the Sopranos pilot, and we'll get into a bunch of other stuff, too, that's going on in the world. I hope you guys are as excited as we are. We're very excited ourselves, so we're going to talk about a lot of things. So, Jose, man, what's going on? How are you?
Just here, ready to, embark in this journey. First episode of Movie Mornings, ready to get into everything it is that we're going to talk about. And I hope you guys, as well as us, enjoy this a lot. And I'm excited to see where this takes us in the future.
Absolutely, man. I couldn't agree more, man. Well said. And guys, if you haven't done so already, please hit the like button below. Subscribe to the channel, leave some feedback in the comment section, share this with your friends, let them know we're out there, and hit that bell for notifications and do all that. If you're on the Spotify audio feed, please follow us, give us a follow, and rate and review and all that. Do all that stuff that you're supposed to do on the podcast. I don't know much about podcasting. I'm just a poser, but we're gonna get into some fun stuff anyway. And Lat Duel, I saw this movie last night. And I mean, I'll tell you about it because I know that you wanted to see it, right? Like you were kind of watching the trailer and you were like,
I'll probably watch it. Yeah, I'll probably watch it this weekend. I'll probably watch it either Friday or Saturday for sure.
All right. So Lat Duel, and this is a review of the latest film from Ridley Scott, is a movie starring Adam Driver, Ben Affleck, Jodie Comer, and Matt Damon. And this is a film that is different than a lot of the other Ridley Scott films. Now, before I say anything else about how I enjoyed the movie, let me preface it with this, because Ridley Scott is a filmmaker that's been doing it for a long time. I think he's like 80 or 90 or something. He's in his 80s, I think, like late 80s. He's pushing 90. And I celebrate that. I celebrate the fact that he's still out there making movies. He's made some of the best movies of all time. And I think it's a shame that the name Ridley Scott won't sell more tickets in general. Like, I think that it should, because we're talking Alien, we're talking Blade Runner, and these are movies that paved the way for a lot of the stuff that's really popping and trending now. And I just find that to be very disappointing, in my opinion. You know what I mean? So, that said, this movie is good. It's not great. It's good. I'll say this about it. Ridley Scott is somebody who's been directing for a very long time, like I said, and this feels like the story might have been a passion project of his in a way. Like, it might be something that he's always kind of wanted to do his whole life, and here he is finally doing it. You know what I mean? So there's that to it, where it's like, it feels like just something he wanted to do to challenge himself as a filmmaker in his older age. And in the beginning of the movie, and this isn't a spoiler, you'll see it right at the beginning. What it is you see Adam Driver's character and Matt Damon's character embarking in a duel, the last duel, if you will. And the whole movie, because right after that we get chapter 1, and chapter 1 is from the perspective of the Matt Damon character. And so when we go into chapter 1, we immediately can see that Adam Driver and Matt Damon are friends, you know? So we're kind of trying to figure out the whole movie, like, how did they start dueling one another? You know, that's kind of like the whole idea. How did that happen? You know, what happened in their friendship that, caused that kind of tension?
Right.
That sort of thing. And what it is we see the whole film 3 different times, in a way, through 3 different perspectives. So we get, without spoiling what the story is, actually, we get Matt Damon's perspective in chapter 1. It's split up into 3 chapters. Matt Damon's perspective in 1, Adam Driver's perspective in chapter 2, and then Jodie Comer's perspective in chapter 3.
Right.
So I enjoyed that.
That's pretty cool. It's
cool on paper, but I'll tell you what. You're right. On paper, like, it sounds awesome, right? Like,
Yeah,
And
the movie splitting into three different perspectives is pretty cool. It's like, that show I was telling you about how it's like that show was split into three different years told from
right,
different
right,
perspectives. So you'd think it'd be really cool.
right. And kind of like we were talking about, like with the Social Network, how three different
Exactly.
timelines. It's
Right.
kind of like that in a way. And I'll tell you what works about it is the fact that, well, number one, like I said, the story is kind of so like underwhelming of a story in general that when you see it done this way, you kind of think to yourself like, this is probably the best way to do it, because it is such an underwhelming story in general. So my problem is sometimes you could feel the overwhelming aspects of the story just kind of creep back up on you, and so I'm not sure that always works. The other thing is like, the fact that we're seeing the movie repeated three times through three different perspectives. So in my opinion, there's a lot of moments where you'll get new pieces of information and you'll kind of go, oh, I'm kind of starting to piece it all together now, because each perspective in each chapter does add new information. But then there's sometimes you'll see a certain scene again and you kind of ask yourself, did we need to see that again? And it kind of drags the pacing down a little bit. I think it's a 2.5 hour movie, and it
I was gonna say
probably,
it's done really good on Rotten Tomato and
yeah.
audience score. Yeah,
And
it's a two and a half hour movie.
and in
Pretty
this
long.
instance, I'm not sure that it needed to be. If I'm being completely honest here, there are some things that could have been cut down in it, and I mean,
Mhm.
I understand that, like, kind of through the art of it, like, it is a slow burn, and it's definitely a movie that's very challenging to watch too. Like, and the movie is, I think, by design made to challenge the audience. I'm not knocking it for that, because Ridley Scott made, that's the other thing, is like Ridley Scott made Blade Runner. If you watch Blade Runner, it's a challenging movie. It's made to challenge the audience. It's not something you're going to watch once and get. And Ridley Scott's kind of known for that too, and throughout his career, he's made many movies that they've people saw them, they didn't get all the acclaim that they probably deserved, but then as years went by, the movies just aged better, and people have enjoyed his films over time more than when they came out. He's kind of had a weird career like that, where a lot of his movies are like that, but then he's had other movies that have just been instant classics, like Gladiator and Alien and shit like that.
He did Black Hawk Down, right?
Did he? He might have. I think you're right.
I think he did.
You have to look that up.
That was a great film.
Yeah, yeah. If he did, that's another good example of it.
Uh,
And the other good example is like Martian, right? Like that was an instant
oh
classic.
yeah,
Everybody loved Martian.
that made Matt Damon movies really good. Yeah,
Yeah. So Ridley Scott's career has been kind of like that, where some movies are instant classics, other
he
movies
did.
are
Yeah, he directed Black Hawk Down.
okay. Yeah, there you go. And there was another instant hit, but so he's had movies like that are instant hits, and then other movies that have had to be sort of reappraised throughout the years. Um, Even though they had like a bad first impression. But unfortunately, I think my duty here today is to give you guys my first impression of this movie, not how I'm going to feel about it in 10,
Right.
20 years from now. So first impressions is that this is a really good movie. It's just not a great movie. And it does have pacing problems. It's a slow burn. So everybody be prepared for that. It's a slow burn. And I think it is like that by design. He's made other movies for sure, like Blade Runner, like I said, that have been slow burns. So again, I'm not docking the movie for those aspects, but there are some things that I did question whether or not they were necessary to the movie itself. And then there are other scenes, because this is one benefit here. Like, the battle sequences are awesome.
Oh, I was
When
gonna
you
say
get,
I bet they are. Yeah.
when you get them, they're brutal as hell. They're great. Like, if you guys like the Gladiator type battle sequences and stuff, you get a lot of that here too. But some of them feel a little bit cut short too. So I almost wonder.
Okay.
I don't know how much longer you can make this movie, but like on the same hand, like I would have liked to see the battle sequences a little bit longer, and like a couple other things taken out. So maybe there's a director's cut that's gonna exist. That's another thing about Ridley Scott's movies. He always seems to put out director's cuts later on, and I do wonder if he's gonna recut this one too, based on some of the criticisms that it's probably going to receive from not just me, I would imagine. I felt terrible, by the way, for the kid behind me, because he looked bored as hell. Like, he had to keep getting up and stretching his legs and walking back and forth. It was kind of funny to watch. Like, I don't think he had any idea what he was in for, honestly. And like myself as a Ridley Scott fan, I always kind of think of that like, okay, this could go one of two ways. This could be very Blade Runner, or it could be very very Martian. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna get one of two types of movies with Ridley Scott, and this one was very Blade Runner, I would say. Not obviously, I don't put it on that same level or anything, but it's the slow burn of it again, and it does, it's lengthy.
I'm looking forward to his House of Gucci movie.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too, is like he's got 2 movies this year. That's something else that needs to be celebrated. In his old age, the fact that he's got 2 movies that are both gaining some awards buzz is really cool. And like,
and that's Adam Driver as well. House
yeah,
of Gucci. And that's gonna be, I feel like, just from the trailer, when I watched the trailer at the Halloween Kills premiere or pre-screening, it looked like a really good movie. I'm looking forward to that one.
and he was, yeah, that's the other thing. He was able to get Adam Driver, arguably one of the best
both,
actors
for both movies. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
And he's got a movie coming next year as well.
does he?
Yeah, the Nile one with Gal Gadot.
I don't think that's his, is it? Ridley
That's
Scott
the
didn't
Nile?
do that, did he?
Is that not his?
I thought it was there's Kenneth Branagh not directing that
it
one
might,
again?
it might be someone else.
I thought Kenneth
it is
Branagh
him.
was.
It is him.
Oh,
It
okay.
him.
Is Kenneth Branagh? Okay.
Yeah.
Kenneth Branagh. I was like, I thought Kenneth Branagh was going to direct that without a doubt, but
Wait, so he's directing and he's in it? Wow,
yeah.
that's
Well,
incredible.
he did the first one, Murder on the Orient Express. So.
Oh, that was a good one. That was
yeah,
a good one.
Yeah. Anyway, so my point. Where was I going with that? The
It's
performances.
very Blade Runner.
Well, I don't know. Like Blade Runner, like the other thing too. Well, this is something I'll say about this movie that's a benefit is this is one of the best, most well shot movies of the year too, by the way. It's very good to look at. Like it's a very pretty movie.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Yeah. Score was another thing that struck me as odd here though. I don't know if it was a flaw. I had to think about it. I had to watch it again. Because the score, there were times when it kicked in and I was like, okay. I'm not sure that it worked for that scene. You know, there was times when the score would kick in here and I was really questioning that, you know.
Oh, he did. Okay, so the guy who scored this movie did the Chronicles of Narnia.
Really? That was him?
Yeah, Harry Gregson Williams.
Wow. Okay, because that I wouldn't have guessed that based on this score because
well, he did The Martian as well, actually.
really,
Yeah.
not one of his best. I'm not gonna lie because there were times like, okay, first of all, it's kind of hard to judge because the score isn't very present in this movie either. Like it's a very silent movie. Like there's a lot of silence behind the dialogue. You know, so it's not like the score's present. It just, there were times when it popped up and I was like, I don't know if that piece worked for that scene.
And he's gonna score House of Gucci as well. So
okay, hopefully that turns out better because like I mean seriously, I hope that
because he scored. That's the thing. This guy scored some really good movies.
Yeah.
He scored. I mean, he scored the new Milan. I haven't seen it, but I heard the score for that was pretty cool.
Oh, score was great for Milan. He did
scored,
that one too.
Yeah, he scored Prince of Persia. He scored the Shrek movies.
Yeah. Okay. I'm changing my opinion on the score and saying that this was just a miss because now that I know that his scores could be that great, I guess I didn't realize who did it.
And I mean, he scored the Meg 2, that Jason Statham movie, and that was an incredible movie.
Right. I mean,
so
this was a miss for him then, I think, as far as the score goes, because
I was gonna say, because if you think about those movies that he scored, those are really good scores.
I don't know, it popped up. It's not that it was horrible or the worst thing I heard. There were scenes that popped up, and I'm like, I don't know that the score worked there. It rubbed me the wrong way.
I was gonna say, I guess in comparison to the other movies that he scored, you know, since you've seen this movie, it probably wasn't his best.
No. You know, but this is what I'll say too. But this is probably the highlights of the movie. The highlight of the movie is the performances. I mean, the performances are top notch throughout.
I was just, I mean, when you look at the cast, I mean, this is a really good cast.
Well, yeah, Adam Driver does some stuff that like I've never seen him do before. Like in terms of his performance, like he definitely this is a different performance for him, which I like, and he's great at it. The surprise I think in this one was probably Ben Affleck.
He's in this one.
Oh yeah. And this is a very different Ben Affleck than we're used to. This kind of role, and he blends into this movie so well that I forgot I was watching Ben Affleck. So that says a lot. I
might prefer this Ben Affleck to the Batman one.
Oh, probably. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's something else. Like I don't know. Again, well, I'll get into the characters themselves here in a second, but Matt Damon is very good. Again, I found this one to be a different performance for him, but they didn't give him as much, I guess, in a way, because it's not that his performance was bad. It was great. I think if he had more, we could have been more impressed by it. But like, I
So
don't.
so was it more Adam Driver then?
Adam Driver definitely like. Well, no. I mean, I'll tell you who makes this movie is Jodie Comer.
I was gonna say I feel
Jodie
like the mo-
Comer,
I feel like the movie is based around her really
very much, and you know the fact that
because I feel like based on what I saw from the trailer that they're both basically trying to duel for her.
well, I'll tell you what, the fact that Jodie Comer is like a newcomer, and you're kind of on the right track. Yes, but you have to watch the movie. To see how it pieces together.
That's my theory for this movie is
Well,
that it's a duel for her kinda in a way.
true. You're right, but you got to watch it, see how it all kind
Right,
of plays,
right.
to understand it. But you're right, but there's more to it. You know what I mean? I guess is my point. So I mean, you know, the thing that I would say, based on her performance is the fact that she's like the newcomer out of all these top tier grade A actors,
Yeah.
and that she held her own. Not only held her own, but I think gave the best of all of them. It says a lot about her, and I won't be surprised if she does get nominated for this because she really, when you follow her character, I think it's my favorite moments in the movie is following her character, watching what she does. The Adam Driver Ben Affleck relationship is probably second to that, and then I think Matt Damon's character is kind of my least to follow, and that's nothing to do with Matt Damon's performance. He's good. But it's the character itself. They don't give him a lot, you know, I think and that's kind of where I'm at with it. But I think, again, the way I'm looking at it is that the story didn't really call for it either, him to do a whole lot. So I'm not like docking it. And the other thing about this that really, really freaking works is the fact that it is something that you piece together by the end of it, and it is something that kind of culminates into one really cool thing. And like, I won't get into that too much, but it does culminate into one really big, very cool thing. Set design in this movie is astounding too. I mean, like, you could look at the background at almost any moment, and there's detail like beyond belief. Like, that's something else I want to throw out there too. This is a really hard movie to review because the characters, and this is the other thing that like might disappoint a lot of people, but I think it was very much by design, and this is kind of what I mean by it's a very challenging movie. It's definitely, in my opinion, made to challenge the audience, and a lot of people notice that these characters aren't necessarily made to be likable. Just keep that in mind. They're not made to be likable, and that might piss some people off because these are actors that typically play likable roles. You know what I mean? And in most of the things that they do. So the fact that they didn't come off necessarily likable in this movie is something that I don't know that a lot of people are going to really take very well. But I do think it's by design to challenge the audience and to make them think. And it does, you will leave this movie thinking about it. Like, I'll say this, and I don't know if that's a benefit or a negative, but I have still been thinking about the movie since I left the theater. It's given me a lot to, you know, process. So, I'll say that much. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but again, underwhelming story. I don't know that I guess the surprises that are in there, I don't know if the shock value was high enough to call this an amazing movie, but it is a very good movie, and like, it's well crafted for the most part. There's a couple little things that I thought were unnecessary, could have been taken out, and then there's a couple areas that I thought could have been extended a little bit. So I mean, you know, if anybody out there seen this, you know, let us know in the comments for sure, and you know, tell us how what you thought of it. I imagine it's going to be kind of a divisive movie amongst audiences for sure. I think a lot of people are going because of this top tier cast, and I'm not sure that they're going to get the result that they want every time. Right now, my grade, I'm going to go with a might go. That's where I'm at with it. I'm going to go with a might go on it. I don't think this is something, that was the other thing I was going to mention. I don't think this is something you have to go to the theater for right away and get out and see, but this might have worked better on streaming. I think more people would have watched it because, you know, the other thing about this is it did flop this weekend, you know, with the box office.
I was gonna say, it
did not do well. Yeah.
I just read that it bombed in the box office, so.
Yeah, I think it might have done better like on a streaming service. More people probably would have seen it, and that's probably where these types of movies need to live anymore. This sort of like, I don't know, the you know, the art house pieces don't seem to like really hit in the theater anymore the way that they used to. Like, there's some, like, I saw Green Knight, and that was great. That was a like artsier piece, but in the theater that played awesome. you know, and I would give that a must go easily for my, you know, for myself. I would say that that was definitely a must go. I think a lot of people should go see it. I think it's very unique, has a lot of style. It's not that long a movie. It doesn't feel like it anyway. You know what I mean? It's a good piece. You know what I mean? It's a good piece of cinema. And then this movie, it's like, but like even Green Knight though, like probably would have been seen more on the small screen if it was on a streaming service. You know what I mean? Even though I thought it looked
Right.
great in the theater and it played well,
Is it not right now on a streaming service?
it's gonna go to Apple TV Plus pretty soon because it's an A24 movie and Apple bought A24, so I would imagine that's where it's gonna be going.
And I don't
before
have
we know
that.
it.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't either, and I probably should get it because I like most of A24's movies. I think that studio
I mean,
is
Coda's on Apple TV, right?
Coda is on Apple TV Plus. That was an Apple TV original though.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, it is on Apple TV Plus. They've put out the stuff I have seen from Apple TV Plus is actually astoundingly great. Honestly, and it's a streaming service I consider every day. Like, would I watch that over Netflix at this point? I probably would, the more I think about it. But like Netflix has The Witcher, Cobra Kai,
Right.
all the Dave Chappelle specials, which I can actually watch over and over
I
again.
was gonna say for me, like, you know, Netflix has Witcher, it has Stranger Things, which I like.
Stranger
to watch.
Things, I'm a fan of. Yeah,
The Money Heist, which I really like, even though they're coming out with the last part of the last season in December. So I'll just have really The Witcher and Stranger Things, and I mean, there's a couple other movies and stuff that I always like to revisit on Netflix.
yeah,
But I mean, I don't pay for it. I use a friend's Netflix, so
right. So you
the
saw
only
the.
one that what?
Oh, go ahead. So what were you saying?
No, I was gonna say this. So that's what, like, the only one I don't pay myself for any streaming services. My parents pay for Disney and Hulu, the bundle. I
I see.
use a friend's Netflix, and now I have an HBO Max. But yeah, I don't pay with my own money for any streaming services. At least right now, I don't.
Oh, fair enough.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, fair enough. But I mean, I was gonna ask because you just saw the first episode of Sopranos. Give us your like breakdown of that. That's an exciting time. You should think of this as a milestone in your life. Just now seeing the first episode of Sopranos, the pilot. This is actually, and I think you and I were talking about this, right? Where this is like still one of the top rated shows or top
Well,
streamed
I'm pretty
TV
sure.
shows right now.
I'm pretty sure it is right now.
Yeah.
At least probably on maybe even just like on HBO Max.
Yeah.
It's one of the most It just hit, I think, the most streamed show on HBO Max, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. What did you think of the pilot? Because like I go ahead. I'll let
It
you
was
break it down.
It was funny. It gave me Many Saints in Newark vibes.
Yeah.
Just obviously way more ahead. Because you have now you have Tony married with kids. His uncle, Uncle Junior is a lot older now.
Yeah.
His mom a lot older.
Yeah.
Chris Moltisanti is a lot older too now.
Yeah.
The whole cast, it just gave me Many Saints in Newark vibes, but just obviously I guess in a much older time. So
Yeah. Yeah. Do you already, because the pilot's like an hour long, so it does give you
Yeah.
time to like digest like a lot of it. That was one of the things for me is like when I saw the pilot, like I was thinking like this is a really good pilot. Like it's so solid and I was hooked.
it was
that point on.
it took me. I'm ready for the next episodes, for the next seasons. The parts with the can I go into like details about it, I guess?
Yeah,
at this
it's been
point?
out forever. You can talk about it. Yeah, it's been
Um,
out for fucking since
when he
98.
when he goes and sees like the therapist, those scenes are always really funny.
Oh yeah, they're great, man. Yeah.
When him and Chris Moltisanti run over that one dude and ask for the money, that was really funny as well.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah.
What else? Oh, him hanging out with the ducks in the swimming pool. That was, he's
The
like,
duck
kids, come look, they're about to fly. He's like, the kids are like, yeah, National Geographic's bye.
That duck concept, dude, when it all kind of culminates and like you find out like what the meaning of the ducks are, it's
Exactly,
really
yeah.
funny because Tony
Like,
this whole time is
as I
this
said,
big tough guy at this point, and it's like, yeah.
And then he gets emotional, says that that's basically him thinking about like, what if I lose my family?
Yeah, exactly. It's really funny. I laughed so hard at that. My favorite thing was like when she was like talking to her, was like, there are some pharmaceutical developments, you know, and then he's just like, oh shit, here comes the Prozac.
And that's exactly what he starts taking.
Yeah.
And it's funny too that because he's like, oh yeah, I'm a lot happier now. She's like, well, it wasn't the medicine. He's like, well, what do you mean it wasn't the medicine?
No, you're right. Because yeah, do you have like I was saying, it was like an hour long. I think that pilot, and like, do you?
Yeah, it's an hour long. Yeah,
gives you time to like digest some of the characters and stuff. Do you have one that's like your favorite so far, or any like standouts that you think at this point?
I really like Chris Maltasanti. He's really cool.
Yeah,
I'm really attached to him. He's a really cool character.
Chris's story is great throughout the show too.
Tony's daughter. She's pretty cool. The whole rebellious teen.
I don't know if I was attached to her at the beginning, but there's some great developments with her later that definitely like she became like toward the top.
It just reminded me of like, you know, because kids are gonna be rebellious teens. You're gonna want to do stuff that
boys will be boys.
Exactly.
No. The son is funny.
Tony's mom's pretty funny too. She's that annoying like.
Fucking
you're not gonna send me to a retirement home.
Oh, she's fucking insane, dude. Like Livia's a nutcase, and like yeah, like the more, I mean, I think like you have characters in the show that are like you like them as characters and you understand like how they push the narrative and stuff, but like for me,
I think from the pilot, just from the pilot alone, I think Chris Maltasanti has to be my favorite.
Interesting. Okay,
for sure.
I think for me it was Tony from the beginning. Like I don't know, but
Tony and Chris both like their relationship is really cool.
But I did like Chris a lot. Like I'm not gonna blame you for that.
That's what I mean. Like that's what I mean. Like them two, and like the chemistry and connection they have through even just that pilot alone is really nice.
Immediately they have great chemistry.
You know what's really funny is when Chris was at that meat shop in
the pork store,
pork store, and that dude he just like takes out his gun and just shoots
oh my god, yeah, that's right.
He just keeps shooting him, bro. Pop.
Yeah.
Because that was funny too. Because when he was seeing the therapist and he's like, she was like, all right, pause first. I need to tell you, you have patient doctor confidentiality. So if you say anyone gets hurt or anything, I have to report it. He's like, all right, I won't go into details. And it was basically like someone getting hurt or shot, which is really funny.
Yeah. Hey, Chrissy, go down to the pork store and get the fucking gabagool, will you? I love
that. When they run over that dude, he's like, oh yeah, no, we just had coffee. She's like, oh, you just had coffee, okay.
I want to rewatch it again. Like I think my experience, because I'm in such a newcomer to it, you know, too, because like I didn't see it till this past couple months or something like that, you know.
Right.
So like I'm such a newcomer to it too, and I really want to watch it again. I am so excited for you to get to the end of the whole thing, because that's going to be a discussion between the both of us, probably one we're going to have on this show too, because it's definitely one of those things where it's like it makes you think. You're going to be thinking about it. Like it might keep you up at night. I'm not going to lie to you. Like the way it ends, but it was one of those things where it's like, I don't know. It was like a pop cultural phenomenon when the show ended, and I'll tell you why. Now, one of the funny things, because I listened to the Talking Sopranos podcast, and it's the guy who played Christopher and the guy who plays, you don't know him yet, but Bobby, he comes in at season 2. It's Michael Imperioli, who plays Christopher, and Steve Sharippa, who plays Bobby, do a podcast called Talking Sopranos, and they go through each episode and break them all down. And you could listen to it like as you watch the show if you wanted to, because they do break down each episode. They did a Many Saints of Newark special episode too on there, but yeah. So the one thing, Michael Imperioli was talking about, he had just met James Gandolfini, and you know that they didn't really have like a big, like they didn't give like a lot of time for rehearsal on the show. They just, you know, he just met James to do the pilots. And I mean, later they did when their budget got bigger, but like when they were doing the pilot, they didn't, it wasn't even picked up by HBO yet when they had done the pilot.
The fact that they didn't have much time to rehearse or anything, and they still delivered like that just in the pilot alone speaks a lot, honestly, about this cast.
Well,
honestly.
Michael Imperioli was saying how he didn't have a driver's license, but he has to drive Tony in the one scene. And he didn't have a license yet. And so he didn't want to tell anybody that, but you know, the show, again, it wasn't like a big budget thing where it hadn't even been picked up by HBO Max yet. The streaming shows, it wasn't even a streaming show. It was on a premium network. So back then they didn't do pilots like they do now, where it's like somebody goes into Netflix and they pitch them a show, and then Netflix says, okay, we'll give you this many episodes and try it out and see how it goes. It was like you had to shoot your pilot, prove that your pilot was good, then turn it into where you want to sell it, and then they'll pick it up, and then they'll give you more episodes after that. So they shot the pilot way before the rest of the episodes. They had no rehearsal time, and the only time he'd met James Gandolfini, Michael Imperioli, is just through acting, and it was his very first day. I think he said it was like his first or second day. He's got to drive him in the car, and all he knows of James Gandolfini is tough mobster because he's only seen him in the character.
Right.
He had no idea how he was going to be. He's never driven a car. He has no license. So he's he's like, back it up. And, it's like, all right, this will be easy. So he backs it up, puts it in reverse, backs up the car. All good. Everything was fine. Now you got to pull it forward. Pulls it forward, rams right into a tree. Airbags deployed. And he's looking over at James Gandolfini like, this is the star of the show. He's acted more than me. He's going to want me fired. I'm done. And he said that...
He probably just laughed it off
did.
or something.
He said he just looked at him and laughed his fucking ass off. And like,
I mean, I would too.
Yeah.
I would too. That'd be funny as fuck. Like, you never driven a car, you ran into a tree. That's funny.
Yeah, and they were laughing too on the podcast because then Steve Sharippa like kind of mentioned like James Gandolfini always went into hysterics when shit went awry, on the show behind the scenes. So he said that was his favorite thing in the world almost, was like when shit just went wrong. He always found it funny.
Why am I frozen?
I don't know. You're back now. Yeah.
Okay, I'm back.
But the so that's funny, and that does speak a lot about James Gandolfini as a person, and a lot of people just have come out and said tremendously great things about him and how great he was to work with, and that he was a really good dude. But the thing that was funny about that is like he said, yeah, James Gandolfini's laughing, but the person that's got to clean up this mess and take care of it and get him a new vehicle is pissed the fuck off, so they're coming in there like yelling like, what the hell, and they were like, yeah, they said, you got to get your license before we continue if you want to stay on. So because you'll see in the show he drives Tony a lot. This is like, he basically is Tony's driver. Like anytime Tony needs a lift, he calls Chris, but Chris is, I'm hesitant to say it, but he might be my second favorite character, thinking about the way his story develops. Like, I think that Chris really did become my second favorite.
Is it Tony your favorite, or?
I think Tony's my favorite. I think Chris is my second favorite.
I mean, with a show that's technically based around him,
yeah, for sure.
I don't see why he wouldn't.
No, well, there's a lot of shows like you think about, like Seinfeld. I don't think Jerry's my favorite, but the show's called fucking Seinfeld. I would probably point to like George or Kramer as my favorites in that.
I haven't really watched much of that show, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah. Even like, I don't know. I think Ray is my favorite character in Everybody Loves Raymond. I kind of take that back. I think the more I watch, but like, I don't know. It's like between him and his brother Robert, like, but there's a lot of shows where the main character isn't your favorite too. You take Breaking Bad.
I guess example. I was just saying, I guess for me, like How I Met Your Mother. Ted Mosby isn't really my favorite character in that show.
Mine's Marshall on that one.
Mine's has to be Barney, definitely.
I love Barney.
He's just the fact that like a gay dude plays a straight dude like that well, and dude, it's so fun. And then,
he's phenomenal at it. Yeah,
he's incredible. He definitely has. He probably is my favorite one.
He's really good.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't take Neil Patrick Harris's performance out of the running by any means. Marshall, for me, I kind of liked his quirks. And he was my favorite probably up until like the last 2 seasons. Then he seemed checked out for some reason. Like, I don't know. It was like the last 3 seasons of the show. Like, Jason Segel kind of seemed checked out as Marshall. I don't know why. Like, it was like he was over it.
That's the show that I've seen the most times through.
How I Met Your Mother. There's good episodes of that.
I've seen it like 6 or 7 times through. I'm pretty sure.
I think my favorite episode is the Best Burger in New York episode, where they're all going around. They're going
to so many different places to try for Marshall to find like that one burger he had.
And then
then at the end they find it.
Well, it got so far fetched because even like Regis Philbin is trying to find this burger. They call him Regis, and he's like, he starts yelling at him, like because he can't find the burger, and he's like, I know the burger. He's like, I've tasted this burger, Bonnie, you must call me if you find the burger. It's great. I love Regis in that episode. My other favorite one, it kind of a sad one, but I thought it had some of the funnier parts too, is the one where Barney meets his black father for the first time.
Oh, Mike.
Even though I don't know how that would fly right now in this day and age, that episode, but it's really funny. The fact that the part where that shows Barney's denial, because they had that part where he's explaining about his basketball, how he played basketball, and
oh yeah,
he was like, I was so awesome that all the other kids were jealous of. They show this like young child just like flying up to the hoop and dunking the ball. It's like, that's so fucking
Space Jam.
Yeah, so fucking Barney's denial of everything, and the fact that he couldn't. The guy was black and he couldn't accept that wasn't his dad was just hysterical. Like, to me, sad. It was sad. It was a sad episode, but it was funny.
Which I mean, also because like his brother is technically his stepbrother.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. What was the one that was like? It was like Marshall and the Machine, where he did that song. That was one of my favorite moments.
Oh, Marshall versus the Machine.
Marshall versus the Machine.
That was one,
right, or something.
That was one of the, because he did it in multiple episodes. I know he did it.
He did. You're right. It came back.
He did it in one of the last seasons.
He did.
Where Lily was about to give birth, and the bus stopped, and he was like,
"That's right.
Marshall versus the Machine." Yeah,
it's one of my favorite bits on the whole thing. That was one
because I think he also did it once when he was trying to run a marathon. He was like, so much faster than a machine.
It was always like the way they shot it too was always so ridiculous, because he had that look on his face where his eyes just got really big. That always cracked me up. The way that Siegel played that was always really funny. How I Met Your Mother was really good though. Like it.
Yeah, no, up until
the end. I didn't like the last season.
Because I'm an emotional guy, so a lot of those like proposal episodes and stuff like that were like some of my favorite bits as well.
Mm-hmm. No, it had like good dramatic moments in there.
Was it when Barney proposed to Robin, or Ted proposed to Robin, where she ended up at the roof of one of these buildings and there's like a red carpet with a bunch of flowers? Can't remember. Barney,
because he read off that whole plan to her, and that was like really good.
That was one of my favorite episodes.
It was really good. Yeah,
the whole plan he had. Yeah, that was really cool.
Well, at that time, I was like, these writers are so good, and like they could do no wrong. And then you get to season 9, and you're like, oh,
yeah, it was all right.
Season 9. The problem with all right, so I told this to everybody because people are like, the finale sucked. It was stupid. It was dumb. It was a shouldn't have. No. Here's the thing. If you take the events in the finale, it's actually not bad. Like the what happens in the finale, I don't actually have a problem with. What I had a problem with is they spent the entirety of season 9 on wasted episodes that took place at one area in that wedding, and that was so unnecessary. When you could have just taken the ideas of the last episode and just fleshed it out amongst one season. And that's where they screwed up. It wasn't so much the events that took place in the finale.
It was the fact that it was, they could have spread it out,
Everybody would have been on board with that had they just fleshed it out the way they did everything else. And they just, I don't know, it was like for some reason, they spent more time on the wedding than they did the events because they crammed so much into that 2-hour episode, even though it was like 2 hours or something like that. They crammed so much into it. It was weird.
Kobe Schmolders was good too in that. In that. The cast, the whole cast was really good. I
everybody's good, man. Yeah,
I think it's my favorite show to this day, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, you remember the one where Ted got his hair dyed blonde, and this is one of my favorites too, because and everybody was coming into the bedroom and they were like, oh, what was it like? Oh yeah, because it's like I think like Barney walked in first when like Marshall and Lily were gonna have sex. So Barney walks in first, and Marshall's like, why is Robin in my bedroom? And then Barney walks in, why is Barney in my bedroom? And then Ted walks in with the blonde hair. Why is Ellen DeGeneres in my bedroom? That was really good. It was funny. They had good moments on that show. Really good stuff. Yeah. Friends is the other one. I love Friends.
Oh my god, oh my god, the cast of that show is incredible. Yeah. Honestly, couldn't have done a better cast. Honestly,
I go Friends over How I Met Your Mother for me, but that's just me. I think it ended
I think
better. I think it
I would say
overall was
I think it's because I've just seen How I Met Your Mother more, but
yeah.
Friends is definitely like up there with one of my favorites.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's no offense to How I Met Your Mother. They did a good job for the most part. There's so many memorable, iconic moments in How I Met Your Mother, just as well as Friends. But Friends walked, so How I Met Your Mother could run. That was the way I always looked at it. I think that they're
Sure.
two very similar shows.
I was about to say that. Yeah, they're very
Yeah,
very similar. A lot of
Seinfeld.
a lot of engagements and divorces and and love interests in there.
Seinfeld walked, so both of them can run. I think though, because like Seinfeld, the thing with Seinfeld is like it does that same thing of we're gonna have episodes where there's just like really random moments and you're gonna remember them forever for whatever reason. And Friends and How I Met Your Mother did the same thing, except Friends and How I Met Your Mother were actually like about something, as opposed to like
Right.
Seinfeld is a show about completely nothing. And did that very successfully. But that's another one of those. And I kind of remember how it ends, and not really, but I remember not liking it much. The Seinfeld finale was a fucking bummer. It was not good. That was one of those that was like, oof, jeez.
Another show that I really loved was The League.
The League was funny with
I loved that show so much. Nick Kroll and I'm trying to remember some of the other. I mean, the girl who voiced the character in Battlefront 2 campaign.
oh yeah,
She
yeah.
played Shiva.
I want to
In
say
that
it's
show.
Ivanka something, but I know that's wrong. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's the girl that played oh, what's even the character's name? Why can't Iden Versio's character? But I can't think of her name in real life. But yeah, I know who you're talking about. The one thing I always remember from the League, because the Mr. McGiblets bit
Oh
the
my god.
yeah. All right, so like that was always one of my favorite ones. But
Janina Gavankar.
that's
her name.
right, Janina Gavankar. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the McGiblets thing, I used to play Battlefront 2 with this guy. Not Battlefront 2, I'm sorry, Call of Duty Black Ops 2. I'm taking it way
Ooh,
back. Taking it way
bro,
back.
I love that game.
It was the shit
Love
when it
that.
was
Oh
out.
my
Yeah.
god, dude! Black Ops 2 Zombies was my shit.
Hmm.
I used to play that all the time. I had this friend who went to the Navy. We were friends in middle school. He'd come over to my house almost every night, and we would just jam out to music and play Black Ops 2 Zombies, bro. It was the
It
best.
was so fun. It was so
Oh my
fun.
god, yeah.
But
Oh
I had this
yeah.
guy I would play online with all the time.
Don't tell me he'd play Mr. McGiblets.
Well, he no, I mean, the thing the League was like just coming out and popping at the time. And
Okay.
so he decided to change his gamer tag. This is
To
on the
Mr.
Xbox to Mr. McGiblets. I'll never forget. Like we're playing this game of it was I think it was a capture the flag we were playing.
Okay.
And some guy was about to get shot, one of our teammates, and then this guy I was playing with just fucking he just shoots the guy that was about to shoot our teammate. I remember seeing this all go down on the game, and I was like, and you just hear him say, I don't know who you are, man, but I just saved your ass. Better name your firstborn child after me. McGiblets.
McGiblets.
That always cracked me up. I'll never forget that. That was really funny. That was a funny bit.
Oh my god, I like the episode in the League where was it Taco who got birthing naming rights to their first kid?
Yes, I think it was Taco. Yeah.
I can't remember what did they name him? Batman? Chalupa Batman. That's what it was.
Right.
Chalupa.
Right.
I think what it was is Taco traded his first round pick to Nick Kroll's character for the naming rights to the baby.
Mm.
And he named him Chalupa Batman. And they decided to just shorten it to CB.
Right. That's
I
right.
love that
CB. I remember that. Yeah, that I remember. That always cracked me up. That was a really
loved
fun thing.
that episode was I loved that episode. That was a
Yeah.
funny one. There's a lot of funny moments in the fact that had NFL players in the show too is really cool.
Yeah, that was always a highlight for sure. What about
Ocho Cinco and
oh right,
JJ
Ocho
Watt.
Cinco was in that. Yeah.
JJ Watt.
Yeah.
I think there was a Seattle Seahawks player. Was it Marshawn Lynch? No, it was
No,
it was an Eagles player.
No, Marshall
was
Lynch wasn't in that, I don't think.
It was one of the Eagles players who was in that in the show as well.
Yeah.
I think it was Eagles kicker.
Yeah.
I think
If Marshall Lynch wasn't in it, I just don't remember because they had like a lot, I think.
they
They had quite a bit.
one dude whose nickname was Honey Badger. I can't remember what player that was, but he was on that show.
Right. He was in there. Yeah. What about Always Sunny? You watch Always Sunny?
What? In Philadelphia?
Yeah,
No,
really, you never seen it? It's
never
phenomenal.
seen it. No,
I recommend it.
I've heard it's good.
The first episode, I'll tell you what, that first episode of Always Sunny in Philadelphia is not going to fly today. Like, you can't air that on FX today. Like,
What, racism, sexism?
for sure, racism. Yeah, you
okay.
can't air it. There's no way that it would fly. But the rest of the show is, I would say it stays in a fairly well. There's some parts. There's definitely things throughout the entire.
So in
show
other words,
that
in other words, this thing couldn't air at all these days.
No, it can. I mean, they become a little bit more woke, I guess, quote unquote. They were never like that bad over the line, but that pilot was always kind of memorable because they were way over the line. But it was always kind of funny though too. Like it was. I mean, these guys, they're all buffoons. I mean, in Always Sunny, they're all fucking buffoons. Like there's no rhyme or reason to It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Don't expect any kind of story. Although I saw a YouTube video where somebody had broken down Charlie Day's character and how they've planted seeds about his daddy issues and actually how fucking dark that actually is when you break it down. But if you don't read into the show, there's no real story into it. I mean, it's just it's a bunch of buffoons that own a bar. How they manage to own a bar, you just don't no, but it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. They get into all these different situations, but yeah, Charlie Day, I don't know if you're familiar with his work at all in anything, but he's, oh my god, a character. He's a character because he's one of those guys people know from like Horrible Bosses and
Horrible Bosses. Okay.
Yeah, he's hysterical.
Oh, okay, yeah. Is it Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
He was in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
A fist fight with Ice Cube. That was a funny one.
Fist Fight was actually good. Like a lot of people didn't like Fist Fight.
I know. I like that was a hilarious movie.
I thought it was really funny. A lot of people bashed the crap out of that one. I thought it was good.
He voiced in Lego Movie.
You know, the best parts of Fist Fight is like you know, the word about the fight is already around the school, and then Charlie Day's just walking through the hallways talking to Ice Cube. He's like, you can't be serious. We're not going to fight, are we? We're not actually going to fight. And the Ice Cube's just like, oh, I can't wait to fuck you up. That was one of my favorite lines in the whole movie.
I love Ice Cube. Like his ride-along movies with Kevin Hart are hilarious.
I like the first one. I think I like the first one more than the second. I should say.
Yeah, same. Yeah. 100% same.
I thought the first one was good. I think the second one was like, I don't need to see any more of these. That was my feeling about it. It's not that I wouldn't watch them. It was just kind of like, I think this is kind of an idea that played out. Well, because then you had, which isn't exactly the same thing, but like Central Intelligence, I thought was so much better. It was.
I mean, it was, yeah.
Yeah, like it was
it's a different kind of movie, but
different concept. You're right, different tone, different concept. But you had like this Kevin Hart duo that you liked much more. I guess is my point.
Oh yeah, 100%,
like I just didn't see the necessity for any more ride-alongs. I don't know. Like I don't see Hollywood being like. I think if Hollywood was going to make a second to anything, it would have been Central Intelligence. That was just the way I looked at it. But I guess the ride-alongs made money, though, too.
Yeah.
They both did.
Did Ride-Along 2 come out after Central Intelligence?
Ride-Along 2 came out...
No, because it came out in 2017. Oh, no, they both came out 2016.
Yeah, it was the same year. I think... yeah, because 16 was when I was starting to get the Kevin Hart fatigue.
Yeah, so yeah. Ride-Along 2 came out, like, 5 months before Central Intelligence came out.
Yeah, I was getting Kevin Hart fatigue at that point, so I wasn't even sure because I saw Ride Along 2. I was like, this guy's in too many movies now, and I'm just over it. And then like I saw,
but then we get Central Intelligence, and it's like, damn, yeah.
Right. Then you see Central Intelligence. I'm like, okay, that was a good movie.
They have really good chemistry.
He did have great chemistry.
Kevin Hart and Dwayne Johnson. Yeah.
I think Dwayne Johnson made the movie a little bit more for me though, because like it was such a different role for him, and it always cracked me up that he was like this wuss that just kicks ass.
He was like a wuss, but then he like at the end you find out he's not actually like this wuss. He's like part of like a some kind of mafia or something.
Fucking his fanny packs and shit. You know, like that was always really funny. Yeah, the one thing, like the other one that Kevin Hart did, I mean, Jumanji was such a surprise.
I was gonna say him and Dwayne Johnson, Jack Black, and
yeah. Well, that's my point. It was like after Central Intelligence, it was like Rock and Kevin Hart is the duo we're gonna invest in. We're not gonna give any more to Ice Cube. No offense.
Anytime you have a movie with them two in it, you know it's gonna make money.
It smashes. Yeah, it's a smash. Oh, yeah. Like even 100%. Jumanji 2. Which I love.
Which I still haven't seen.
I love Jumanji. Not Jumanji 2. I guess technically Jumanji 3, because the
Right.
the original, right?
Right.
But
Yeah.
you know, even the third quote unquote Jumanji, the second in this new franchise or new reboot franchise, made a lot of money. You know, it really did. And then a lot of people didn't think it was as good. I loved it, but you know, it still
I
managed to
like.
make money with lower
I know
rating.
this. I know this one's kind of weird, but I liked Kevin Hart in the Secret Life of Pets too. His character in that movie was hilarious.
Is that
Played
the
this.
one? I didn't watch it. The one that's
He
like
played.
Toy
He played
Story, but it's like with animals, right?
kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
They like
They kind of
talk.
come to life
Yeah.
when the owners are gone and
Well,
they start
they just
talking.
yeah, they just start talking
Okay.
when their owners leave. Kevin Hart's character in that is like this superhero bunny.
Oh,
Like
really?
he calls himself like a superhero, but it's like funny stuff
Never
because
saw it.
Kevin Hart's a comedian, so he just brings like his comedian side to the movie, and it's hilarious.
Never saw it. Never saw it. Never
it's
saw
pretty
either of
funny.
them. Maybe I should watch them. I remember the
They're
first one
I
being very mixed with people. Like there was some
I
people
like
that,
I like them both, but that's just me.
some people
That's
were
just
like, it's Toy Story with pets. I don't see the point. And other people were like, it's Toy Story with pets. What's more to love? You know, it's not to love there. So like it was kind of like some people liked it for the reasons that other people didn't. You know,
right.
it was
Right.
really funny. It was a really funny kind of dynamic with the reviews there that I remember with that. So I never actually got into it because I didn't know how to feel by the time it was like available to watch. But yeah.
Speaking of movies, I mean, Halloween Kills got a really low Rotten
Oh,
Tomatoes
yeah,
score.
let's talk about that, man, because that was like, this is one of the weirdest fucking.
Because it was originally with the 69%, it was the third highest Rotten Tomato scored movie
Yeah.
of all of them up until now that it's at a 39. Now I think it's at fifth behind Halloween 3 and Halloween H2O.
Right. I think this has probably one of the strangest fucking like dynamics in
Because
terms of the
it still has I mean it still has a
reviews.
71% audience score.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I mean, we've talked about the movie on the channel already. Obviously, we're gonna do a spoiler review for it, but
right.
we both enjoyed it. You know, like and like I think that we feel about the same on
There's
it.
as I was saying, way more bad reviews now
Yeah,
from what we went over
yeah.
last.
And I don't know if it's something where it's like, because I'm still seeing an overwhelming amount of positivity on it too, on the same hand.
I
You
mean,
know,
yeah,
like,
with a 71% audience score. I mean, yeah,
right.
there's still a lot of a lot to like from the movie.
I find it to be very odd because I think in a lot of ways, like when it comes to critics, like I don't want to say that all critics like just go into movies with like a checkbox, because I don't like when people accuse me of that, or like a checklist, because I don't like when people accuse me of that. But the thing is, it's well shot. It's got,
Oh yeah,
it's unique, it's original, at least in my opinion, or at least it mixes enough original with the familiar. It's got this familiar tone of the original Halloween. It's got, I mean, the cheesiness of it is where I think people are having a problem. And the thing to me on it is like, it's very on purpose. Like, I don't know how people are getting that's on purpose. I mean, like, I don't want to like spoil the thing because I'm sure a lot of people still haven't seen it. By the way, when I went to see Lat Duel on a Monday, theater was packed. I don't know if that was because of Halloween Kills. It certainly wasn't for Lat Duel, but the theater was packed on a Monday night, and I think that might have been for Halloween. I hope so, for its sake, because it had a really good fucking weekend. But the thing that I was going to say about it is like the cheesiness of it's really purposeful. I don't know how people aren't getting that, because the people that are negative on it, because like, I mean, come on, when you're watching Big John, you know, he's singing that
Big John,
song
Little
and
John, yeah, yeah.
he's smoking the joint and he's like, stop, look, listen. And the way that it's cut together, it's like, clearly this campiness is on purpose. Clearly. This is not like here to be like something that is to take a shit on the movie. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not a flaw. It's clearly on purpose. It's clearly self-aware. I understand maybe it's not going to be for everybody, and that's fine. But I think that the campiness of it is very on purpose. I also find that the other, I find that the movie, like, again, it has this very familiar feeling. You know what I mean? Like, it does. Like, there's something, 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 it is an original concept for the Halloween franchise, but there's something about like the comfortability of the Halloween feel, the fall time feel, that it's unmatched, and I think that there's a fun element to the movie. There really is, and it's weird to me that critics aren't enjoying it as much, but I do think that again, like the box office is saying a lot for it. Like dude, Halloween, okay, this is the funny part about this box office, right? Because you look at like Bond, for example, Bond opening weekend did like domestically around the same amount. Bad day for Bond. But for Halloween, great fucking numbers. Because
whoa, so Halloween Kills dropped from a 62 to 59 just after three bad reviews were uploaded.
Yeah.
And has only fallen more, with now 154 reviews, and I'm guessing a lot of those were bad.
Yeah.
For it to have dropped to, well, it looks like it went up from 28 to 39, so at least it's going up again.
Listen, the numbers for Halloween are great, and this is the thing with Blumhouse. The movie was made for 26 million, made 50.6 million. I think that this is Blumhouse's most expensive movie that they've ever made. They continue to make shit on the cheap, and they have.
Because I mean, yeah, you don't really need that much money for these kinds of films. That's the thing too. Like,
yeah.
You don't need an insane amount of money. Like, for example, like something with No Time to Die that needs hella money. Those kinds of films that need a lot of money. You don't really need that much money for these kinds of films because in a way they're simple.
Yeah.
You don't really need that much money for them.
I just think that Hollywood needs to go back to that in general, though. Like, I love our Marvel movies and all that. Don't get me wrong, and it's nice. It's flashy to have this, really insanely big budget, where the effects are just crisp and crystal clear, and I love those movies. That's great, and every so often those are needed. Trust me. I mean, they're a necessity. There's a comfortability to watching them, and they're fun. Those types of things. These big Marvel movies, these big spectacles. But I go back to the same thing I probably go back to every time I have this conversation, which is look at the biggest movies ever made. Or like some of the biggest successes in the history of the world. You got Jaws, Terminator, which are both, by the way, big blockbusters, low ass budgets. Granted,
They actually spent. Looks like here, so they spent 20 Blumhouse spent 20 million on Glass.
Halloween was 26 though.
26. Oh, so
yeah.
Halloween
sure.
Kills would be the highest one.
Glass at the time was definitely their most expensive. Yeah. Obviously there was a lot of and look at Glass, dude. Like, I know some people complained about it, but I thought the effects were phenomenal in Glass. Like, for a $20 million movie, they look great.
All these sites are saying that it was like there was also 20 million for Halloween Kills.
Oh, really? Okay, so on the same level.
So tied. Yeah,
tied for their most expensive. Yeah. Okay, either way. Yeah. I thought Halloween was 26. I thought I'd heard that number, but either way. Tied for their most expensive thing, and look at them.
And Glass has gotten the same run, like basically the same Rotten Tomato score, and basically the same audience score as well. So
my point is like Hollywood needs to like shift their model a little bit, because I'm telling you, man, like you can make good money off these like small scale stories.
Jeez, yeah, and they spent 20 million on Glass and made 247
million. There you go,
so
man.
They made money from that movie.
Halloween will continue to make money too. There's no doubt about
it. I mean, yeah,
it,
it's at 50 mil, and they made this how long ago? When did this movie come out?
A week ago. Not even.
Exactly. It's gonna keep going up.
This past weekend. That was it. Yeah.
The 15th. Yeah, 4 days ago. Came out the 15th.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean,
yeah.
In 4 days 50 million, that's really good. Like,
now I know like a lot of people are like, that's pretty impressive considering it came on Peacock. And without a doubt it is, because it came out on Peacock the same day. And without a doubt that is impressive, but how many people really have Peacock? I don't think it's a lot.
Yeah, that's one of those streaming platforms that I don't see a lot of people like, because you hear there's like Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, HBO Max now even is growing a lot.
I'd also heard that you had to get like the higher paid tier of Peacock to watch it too, which was
is that what you had to get?
I think so, which is a total scam. I think that's what I heard. Yeah, which is a scam in a way, because They just kind of advertised it for Peacock. They didn't tell anybody about you had to get one of the higher paid tiers. And then, like, once you had to do that, like, that was kind of a scam. I don't know. Like, you could fact check me on that, but like,
I'm about to go into the Peacock.
that's fine. I'd heard
app
that.
and check.
I'd heard that, but I don't know. I just heard some people complaining that they couldn't watch it on the lower tier. I don't know if they're right about that. I'm just saying these are the complaints that are coming out.
Nah, it says here watch with premium, and that's the $5 one.
Okay, well, there you go. Okay, that's fine.
$5 a month. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the people were complaining that they couldn't watch it on the $5 though. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just saying I heard those complaints.
If that's true, then Peacock needs to fix their stuff.
Yeah. But if that is the case, they're not giving you a bad deal because you pay $5 as opposed to the $10 that you go for the theater. It's not a bad deal. And you can pause, rewind, get your popcorn whenever you want. It's nice.
I mean, with the Peacock Premium, you still get ads and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's one downfall to, not watching it in theaters.
But I do think that this movie will play better in the theater. Like, it's made 100%. For the theater.
100%, yeah.
It's not like Last Duel where I think it would have played better on streaming and, for people. Like, I think, like, because Last Duel, my whole thing with that one was, like, if you could catch a Sunday matinee and you have nothing else going on that day, sure, maybe go check it out. But if you really just want to, like, absorb it, watch it at home, get comfortable. Halloween, it plays so much better in the theater. Most of these types of horror films do, they're going to play better in the theater. Halloween's no exception to that, without a doubt. And I think that, yeah, man, there's something to the sort of spectacle of this, even though it's a $20 million movie. There is a spectacle to it, being the next Halloween movie. This thing is it's a big franchise now. This Halloween thing. It's always kind of been a franchise ever since they branched out in the early days. But I mean, now it's like it's a popular franchise. Like at this point, like it's people go and see these things, regardless if they like them or not. A lot of people go and see these things. Did I tell you? I don't think I read this one to you. Adam sends me this review today of Halloween Kills. I gotta read this off to you. You're gonna think this is good. Kind of. All right. So on one end, guys, let me preface this by saying, please don't put in a troll review. Please, like right off the bat, because you are ruining the movie's numbers if you're putting in a troll review. So right off the bat, I don't support that, but I kind of got to hand it to this guy because this was really good. So Adam sends me this review of Halloween Kills, 3 out of 5 stars. I think this is on Letterboxd, that new thing that people are doing reviews on. This comes from a user named Kylo Ren, and his user picture actually has Adam Driver on it, so props. He gives it 3 out of 5 stars. The review is this: disappointing. Michael Myers does not say Michael Myers does not say his iconic groovy or "do I make you horny baby" lines even once in the entire 2 hours. Guys, please don't put in troll reviews. It does ruin the movie's numbers, but still, I hope nobody reads that and takes it seriously.
Groovy or "do I make you horny baby"?
So first of all, groovy, I get the references. Groovy is Ash from the Evil Dead franchise. And then "do I make you horny baby" is Austin Powers. But it's funny that he's attributing this to Michael Myers. Could you imagine? He just fucking...
He's like, "do I make you horny baby?" Before killing somebody, he's like, "do I make you horny baby?"
Right before that old woman, we won't get into too many spoilers, but right before he does her in, just takes off his mask. Oh. "Do I make you horny, baby?"
It just...
Oh,
he goes up to Big John, Little John, he's like, "groovy." And he walks in on Big John while he's listening to music, smoking his pipe. He's like, "groovy," and just stabs him.
I wouldn't be surprised if Big John and Little John just say that to each other every night before they go to bed. Groovy, like I think that's probably how they do, man. I think that's how they work. Genuinely,
he's like, they're like, "let's get groovy tonight."
Yeah. And they also say the other thing. On particular nights, they say the other thing.
Oh my.
Yeah. "I'll make you horny, baby."
I mean, yeah, true.
Yeah. I wouldn't doubt that Austin Powers plays on repeat at Big John and Little John's house. Like that's kind of how I imagine it.
They just repeat that one phrase.
They repeat it over and over too. Every time
they just have that one phrase on loop.
Every time that comes up in the Austin Powers movie, at Big John and Little John's house, they have to say it together,
and they just start going at it.
I feel like Big John and Little John have a ritual that they do every night before they go to bed, and I bet it's really fucking weird. Like that's kind of how I picture it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Like
I wouldn't doubt it.
Like I do feel like they have to touch their dicks at least twice. Just like a flick though. They just flick their dicks twice.
I mean, I'm not gonna. They probably played lightsaber duels with them as well. I wouldn't doubt it.
They flick their dicks twice. They say groovy, and then they pray to whatever fucking god they worship, and then they don't say amen at the end. They just say, do I make you horny, baby? And then they go to bed. These are the kind of whack jobs that buy the Myers house. Without doubt. That's how I picture Little John and Big John's lifestyle. Because we didn't get a lot of it in this movie. Now, I've been saying Peacock needs to greenlight the Little John, Big John series. I need to see more of their life.
That'd be cool.
I need to expand on it. I need to see...
Yeah, like how do they come around to buying Michael Myers' house?
Yeah.
What is it that they do?
Yeah.
Like, you know, with their lives.
Fuck Michael's backstory. What are Little John and Big John's parents like? How do you make...
Besides making each other horny every night, like what else is it that they get up with their life? Like...
Dude, when Big John... And I'm sorry for slight spoilers here, folks, but when Big John is singing that song, you know, stop, look, listen... Little John comes in, he is not having it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's funny?
He's like, I thought we were gonna eat and watch a movie or something. He's like, nah, he's like, come sing with me, bro. Come dance.
Yeah. The part where the kids, and it's supposed to be really serious.
Oh, were they scared the kids?
Before that. There's a kid on the ground. I don't want to like give too much away.
Oh, okay, yeah, right.
You know what I'm talking about. That's supposed to be a really like serious thing.
Mm-hmm.
I can't take it seriously because Little John's running outside in this fucking robe, and he's just Big John, Big John, Big John. How am I supposed to take that seriously as an audience member? I love it, and I recognize I love it for all the wrong reasons.
And then he runs out with the robe as well.
Yes. Dude, these are the types of people that have silk pajamas. You know that they have silk pajamas. 100%. I love it. I love it. Dude, this is why we need the Big John, Little John series. I need to know more. I do. Like, I wonder
if that's the nicknames for each other's dicks. Big John, Little John.
I mean, I would imagine
he's like, come over here, let me flick your Big John. He's like, all right, let me flick your Little John.
Let me flick your Big John. Let me flick your little... That's the ritual right there. There you go. There you have it, folks. That's the ritual.
Come over here, let me flick your Big John. All right, let me flick your Little John.
Yeah. Well, you know, yeah, I mean, it's probably... Honestly, it's probably Big Johnson, Little Johnson, but they just shortened it.
To John, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that would make sense now. Oh my gosh.
So
blowing my mind.
I mean, yeah.
Why do we have so many fan theories about Big John and Little John and what could be? It's fascinating.
That's what we need. So we need to show. We need to show about their lives.
We need the series.
Like, we need it.
I will watch that shit every day.
We can watch it and we'll watch it. We'll review it.
David Gordon Green, Peacock, get together, team up. You know what? I
might as well.
Very worried about though. Like this is in a serious. On a serious note. Seriously, I'm worried about the Exorcist trilogy because David Gordon Green's doing it. Now I love David Gordon Green. Halloween and his Halloween, whether you like the movie or not, you can't deny David Gordon Green adds this certain amount of camp to these things. And it's funny and it works. Obviously, we went on a whole tangent.
Especially in this movie.
It does. It's great. And David Gordon Green's great at that. He comes up on comedy, you know what I mean? So like I get why he adds it to the Halloween franchise. And I think it mixes really well in my opinion. Some people I think where you're going with this,
it's not gonna
does not fit The Exorcist. It's not gonna fit The Exorcist at all. And it worries me. I'm not saying the guy's not talented, but if you're going to reboot The Exorcist the same way you're doing Halloween, because he's literally doing the same thing he did with Halloween. He's like, these sequels don't exist. I'm going to pick up from the first. And I don't know about Exorcist, man. I can't do that kind of comedy. Exorcist has like a couple like moments, but they're very.
Yeah, see those are the kinds of movies that I can't watch either. Like those are the ones that scare the living out of me. So
what if Big John and Little John make a return in the Exorcist franchise, and it's a shared universe because of Big John and Little John? They're like the new Jay and Silent Bob, right? They connect the movies.
Since David Gordon Green's doing it, I wouldn't doubt it.
Because I'll tell you, you'll watch it at that point. If I tell you Big John and Little John pops up in one of them, you'll watch it.
I mean, if it's gonna be like Halloween, then yeah, I'll most likely watch them, because if there's gonna be comedy and stuff, then yeah, I'll definitely watch it.
Yeah, you'll be the only one happy because you have no idea how the first Exorcist is, so you'll be the only one happy. You're like, thank God this movie doesn't scare the shit out of me. The rest of us are gonna be pissed off because we want them to scare the shit out of us. But the good thing about David Gordon Green is he's made Michael scary again, finally, and like nobody's been able to do that since fucking Carpenter in the first one. Like I think that Michael's still creepy, and like Gordon Green pulls that forward. I just don't like his tone for The Exorcist.
I've heard from a couple of people who have told me that they've exhausted Michael Myers at this point. He's just not scary anymore.
I disagree. I think they took it back because come on.
No, and that's the things I totally agree with you. I just don't see where people
I know you agree with me. I'm saying
I don't know why people are saying how like they've exhausted Michael Myers and that he's not scary anymore. It's like they're like, oh, this doesn't compare any, like they said that 2018 and Kills don't even compare to the first one and aren't like nearly as good.
I've heard some people say the non-canonical ones are better, and I don't know how, because you watch those things and Michael Myers is not scary anymore. Maybe Halloween 2, I'll hand you. There is some good Michael Myers stuff in Halloween 2. The dumb thing about Halloween 2 is the brother-sister aspect, which thank God they got rid of. It just, who wants to dive into that mythology? Keep it simple, stupid, because that's the philosophy, I think, with these Halloween movies and why they're working for me anyway. The stuff with the mythology of the brother-sister aspect, you don't need it. You don't need it, man. It works. It plays so much better with just Michael's this terrifying being, and they took him back to that. When you the scene is so stupid too. When you watch it in Halloween 2 and the reveal comes up, it's one of the dumbest fucking reveals I've ever seen. And it really is. Like, I know people like hold Halloween 2 near and dear to their hearts, and there's a lot of good moments in the movie. Even I'll admit that. It's a good movie for the most part. But that reveal is stupid as fuck. Like, there's no doubt about it. And because like Laurie, this is the other dumb thing. Laurie figures this out in a dream. And I just don't know how that plays, because it's like, I don't know. Like, nobody tells her this. She just figures it out in a dream. And I don't mind the ambiguity. If you're going to do something like that, I guess the ambiguity of letting the audience kind of figure out what the dream means is kind of a cool thing, but like, come on. And then they just like, they took it to the wackiest directions. You don't know the premise yet of like the non-canonical ones. I'll run you through this because I want to see what you think of these premises. Because, all right, so the first Halloween the very first ever, the original, obviously, we know how it ends. Michael's gone, right? In Halloween 2, non-canonical Halloween 2, Laurie's in the hospital, kind of like this movie, except the whole thing takes place in the hospital. Like, there's no mom or anything like that. The whole thing takes place in the hospital, and Laurie's in the hospital the whole time. Interesting concept for the most part, because there are cool like kills in there for sure. Michael does get some really good kills. It's definitely, I'll say this about it too. It's Halloween 2 is bloodier than the first one. Like, if you're looking for the gore and all that, like you get a lot of
I mean, I was gonna say there wasn't really much blood and gore in the very first Halloween.
Yeah. No, not really. I mean, there's that one scene in the car where the blood splatters up, but other than that, you don't really get anything.
Yeah.
That was it, I think. And that's fine. I mean, but like, if you want the blood and gore, Halloween 2, you will get it out of that. And the tone for the most part is actually pretty good.
I mean, you get it in 2018 in Kills for sure. Like that, those things are bloody as can be. Like, especially Halloween Kills has like so much blood and gore.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But they tried to do this whole thing though, where they went down this route with with the brother-sister aspect, and like, you know, Lori has the dream, and that's fine, and like you can kind of connect it at that point, but then like then Loomis like confirms it. It's like we got it from the dream. You don't need to re-explain it. Like you don't need that. There's another scene too where like I don't know why it's necessary, but they keep focusing in on this kid, and I know that this is like an actual thing that would happen, is when kids, and still probably does, kids would get the razor in their candy, you know, it still probably happens, but like they kept focusing on this kid that just got this, you know, razor in his apple. I don't know why they kept like focusing in on it. I don't know, but it keeps the aesthetic up. And then there's this other thing where they're trying to connect Michael Myers to the devil, and he has a connection to that. Anyway, but at the end of the movie, Loomis shoots and kills him. He's clearly dead. He's clearly dead. And like he shoots him in the eyes. It's actually a good kill.
Because that's what they thought in the original one. He wasn't dead.
Right. Well, you know, I mean, and Loomis shoots him in the eyes. It's a really good kill scene. There's another really great scene where Loomis stabs him in the eye too. It's really cool. Like it looks cool because the blood's coming out of his mask. Like the cool ideas in Halloween 2, without a doubt. Halloween 3 is Season of the Witch. They were trying to get rid of Michael Myers. Obviously, nobody liked that, apparently. I like it. I think it's cool. I don't know why people were bitching, but... So Halloween 4 is basically the mob story, though. Because they do the mob thing in Halloween 4, but barely. It's not as, like, well fleshed out as in Kills by any means, nor is it nearly as well executed. Halloween 4 has got some okay stuff, though. But the dumbest thing that they do is that Jamie Lee Curtis, Laurie Strode's dead. No, she's not dead. I'm sorry. She has a daughter, but for some reason she just gives her away because she's too traumatized. But we don't see Laurie Strode at all. Jamie Lee Curtis is nowhere to be found in the movie. But they had to give her a daughter, and her and Michael Myers have these, you know, mental connections and things. It's like, this isn't fucking Star Wars, you know. We can't have force bonds, you know. It's so odd to me. Like, if you want to make Michael, like the way Halloween Kills does it, where you want to make like Michael Myers like semi-supernatural to where he can't die, okay, but don't play into it so much to where.
And I was going to say too, to where like they kind of have this kind of mental connection, because
come on,
at the end you kind of see where she kind of senses in a way that he's still alive when she's in the hospital.
Yeah. Michael coming back to life in Halloween 4. Somebody can correct me on this if I'm wrong, because I haven't watched it in a while, but the way that Michael comes back to life is so stupid. He's like floating down a river. And then he just gets like struck by lightning, and then he's back to life. It's man's the Flash. If memory serves me right, that is how they bring him back to life. It's so fucking stupid. But you know, either way, like but I'll say this. The character of Laurie Strode's daughter and her orphan family, they're really good characters. They're likable, they're fun to follow, they're good to watch. But at the end, this little girl kills her mother because she has this mental connection to Michael Myers.
You said in Halloween 4?
In Halloween 4, this little girl kills her mother because she has this mental connection to Michael Myers. Now she wants to be the serial killer. And it's actually really kind of dumb, because then the next one, she's in this insane asylum, you know. And the thing is if you want to make her the new Michael Myers, then commit to it, because they don't, though, because Michael comes back in 5, and there's interesting stuff there for sure, but my biggest problem is the fact that she went from the serial killer, and then in 5, by the time you open it up, the little girl's cured again. Laurie Strode's daughter. She's just cured all of a sudden. Then the other thing that happens in 5, that's where you find out Laurie Strode kills herself.
It says Michael Myers is nursed back to health by a homeless man / witch doctor in Halloween 4.
Well, there you go. How stupid is that? Regardless if he got struck by lightning or not, who cares? It's dumb. And then 6, they try to carry it forward, and there's this whole cult that brings Michael back to life.
What are these movies, bro?
Yeah. The witch doctor, okay, maybe lightning doesn't like just strike Michael, but in 4, I'll tell you, the witch doctor, like, he brings lightning down or something. I can almost envision it. Man did
a lightning ritual and just brought lightning down on him.
I'll tell you, he had
it's almost like a Frankenstein thing. He put him on a table and just struck him with lightning, and boom, he's coming to life.
But I'll tell you, there's a whole 3-minute scene of Michael floating down a river, and that's how he gets to the homeless guy. Now that I remember, if memory serves me right, there is a long scene of him floating down a river. It's ridiculous.
That could have just been cut down. Like we
Yeah,
didn't really need a 3 minute scene of him
yeah.
floating in a river.
6 is one of the worst because that's where they bring in the cult. And who wants a cult in these things? I certainly don't. I think it's dumb. And like, I think at one point they were going to call that the cult of Michael Myers. They ended up titling it the Curse of Michael Myers. But the cult is so horrible. And Paul Rudd is Tommy Doyle in the 6th one, by the way.
Ooh.
Yeah, which he sucks. He's horrible. It's one of his first jobs. It's clear. He's terrible in the movie. Like, he couldn't act back then. And the movie it's so bad, dude. Loomis dies at the end, though. And that was like one of the big things about it was like that Loomis they finally killed him. Michael kills him. But he's brought back to life with this cult, and then Paul Rudd is Tommy Doyle. He's trying to investigate the cult, and it's so fucking weird. And then you get into H2O, which is one of the better installments in the non-canonical ones.
Bro, imagine having a movie called Halloween Water.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Like-
it'd be fucking stupid. H2O though, obviously because Laurie Strode died in the cult one in number 6. H2O retcons all of them from 4 to 6. It retcons the 4 to 6. So H2O is really like a part 4, I guess, again, like a redo of a part 4. Because, okay, so Jamie Lee Curtis is back. Laurie Strode's back. It's 20 years later from the first Halloween, or the second Halloween, I guess, in this case. 20 years later, and she has a son. And it's kind of trying to do a similar thing to the it tries to do a similar thing to the 2018 one where it's like Laurie's still kind of traumatized and haunted by that, and that stuff I think they did pretty well until you learn more about her as a character, because then they made her act like fucking Rambo. Like I mean really though, because it was like I felt like in 2018 like Laurie Strode was really scared of Michael. You know what I mean? In this movie, she was scared of Michael coming back.
I was going to say to the point where she probably had nightmares.
Right. She had moments where she had nightmares in H2O as well. Yeah. So it's not the worst thing. But then like when it came down to her like actually having to confront Michael and stuff, it was like there was no fear. It was the weirdest thing. So they kind of like got rid of it. But I guess it was like they were trying to play into she's protecting her son. Her son goes on this camping trip or this college trip. And like Michael just for whatever reason just tracks down her son, you know, because I guess they're brother and sister because they kept 2 in canon at that point. And like it's so weird, man. It's so weird. It's not a horrible movie, but it's so weird. But at the end, despite all the rough spots, Laurie cuts off Michael Myers' head, and you're like, that's a really cool ending, you know, because it was played really well because she knows. If you're going to do the brother-sister thing, I guess it's cool to have that because she's really hesitant to do it. You know, she's hesitant to cut off his head. But she does it despite her hesitancy because she knows it's her brother. And they played it really well. It was really done well by Jamie Lee Curtis, that finale. She takes him because Michael's like in a gurney, but she knows he can't die. And he's in the back of an ambulance. She steals the ambulance, like rolls it down a cliff with both of them in it, comes out, and then has an axe and then just chops his head right off.
Jesus.
But then they made Resurrection because Jamie Lee Curtis wanted it to end that way at the time, right? So, but guess what they told her? We can't kill Michael Myers as per the contract, and so she got fucked. Like she got fucked because H2O for the most part was Jamie Lee Curtis's pitch in some respect because she wanted to cut his head off at the end and just be done with it.
So how did they bring him back to life?
All right, so she chops his head off, right? Well, they play a twist in the beginning of Resurrection where Michael had switched out his mask with one of the paramedics and then crushed his larynx so he couldn't talk. So that's why she didn't know it was Michael, and that he was holding his hand, because at the end it's really sad if you think of it as Michael, because like he's holding out his hand to her like help, you know, kind of thing, because he was really so damaged. But they were saying like there was the paramedic trying to say help. It's like, oh, fuck off, you know. Like, fuck off. And then at the beginning of Resurrection, you know Jamie Lee Curtis is over it because she's in this mental hospital. Which, by the way, Resurrection is god awful. I think most fans agree it's the worst one. Because you get in this mental hospital at the beginning, and all the mental patients are just wandering all over. I don't know if they were trying to play it like the first one, but it made no sense because they had people all around. And Jamie Lee Curtis, as all of you know, in the very beginning, She's prepping for Michael to come find her once she finds out what happens to her because she's in the mental hospital. Michael comes and finds her and kills her. It's like, come on, It's like, so they killed Laurie Strode in that, and she was over it. But then luckily, David Gordon Green had a pitch that she was happy with, and we're back.
Came back, yeah.
Oh, thank God they retconned it all, because it was like it all contradicted each other. It just didn't work as well. I'm not saying that every piece of every installment was the worst thing, but it hasn't been a very consistent franchise. That's for damn sure. And it was just time. It was time to retcon it and just make a new canon out of it. And I think they did. They've done a damn good job. Like, I plan to every year watch the 3 on Halloween Day.
We'll make it a tradition.
Yeah, dude, I really do. I think that like these 3 movies work together.
Well, I mean, next year when Halloween End comes out, we'll have another one to.
Fuck it, I'll watch all 4 on Halloween.
Yeah, sure, let's do it.
That said, I have a special place in my heart for some of the non-canonical ones because every year on Halloween they used to play them all on Halloween night on like AMC or whatever, and I would stay up all night as a kid and just watch them all. So I have fond memories of that. But yeah, it was all I had at the time. Now it'll be these new ones, and I think that's gonna be better. Well, the original and the new 2. And then new 3 once Halloween Ends comes out, because I think that movie's gonna be great. How excited are you for Dune this week? Because I'm stoked,
dude. I'm actually like, this is probably one of the most this is probably the most stoked I've been for a movie. Besides probably No Time to Die, and well, I guess technically Spider-Man 2, because I actually can't wait for Spider-Man No Way Home. That movie's gonna be great. But I'm super excited to see Dune. Jason Momoa, Zendaya, Timothy Chalamet.
It's got a great fucking cast, man.
I'm so excited, bro. I can't wait. It's gonna be a great film, man. It's I can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, this thing is essentially, what I hear. I mean, well, from the book. I mean, I read the book. Star Wars for adults. That's kind of how I look at it. If done right, I'm still nervous as to how, because it's supposed to be the first half of the first book, but even the first half of the first book is so much setup. It is so much setup. I'm almost a little bit worried about how they make like a really entertaining film out of this. But it's
already got an 88% Rotten Tomato scores, so
it's gotten good reactions though. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, and I mean, I'm told you got to see it on the biggest screen possible. I am going to the IMAX. I already got my tickets. I can't wait to watch it in the big screen. The big screen. I think it's going to be really phenomenal and such a good time. I hope. I loved and these movies.
And it's already got a box office of 129 million.
No way, it can't. It's not out. How's it have that?
Why does that say that?
Box office 129 million. Oh, overseas.
Yeah, but I guess overseas.
Overseas. I wasn't thinking of that. Yeah, it's come out worldwide
with a budget of 165 mil. So imagine like it's gonna make us money back.
Yeah. Listen, speaking of like Star Warsy type things, though, I did want to go over this with you because Daisy Ridley having breakfast with Kathleen Kennedy.
I did read that post that you put on the NRX Instagram.
Wow. This is, well, I mean, like, okay, obviously we could take this as nothing. We can.
It could just be 2 people having breakfast just because they, want to.
Yeah, but do you really think Star Wars didn't come up? Nobody's going to convince me that it didn't come up at some point in this conversation, I mean,
and that's the thing is, I want her to come back. I really do. And whatever she's put in, I'm super excited. I can't wait. If the Finn show happens, it'd be cool if Daisy Ridley's in there as Rey.
Yeah. Well, here is for the listeners. I mean, here was the question that was asked: was your final Star Wars came out in 2019? Was it weird saying goodbye to the franchise you'd been part of saying goodbye to the franchise you've been part of for such a long time? And her question is, my God, I was so sad. I spent a lot of time crying. I really felt like I was grieving something. They were my people for so many years. John Boyega and I met when we were both 21. We were so young. We started this thing together in our early 20s, and now I'm 29. But we all keep in touch. Even though John is the busiest man in the world, I went for breakfast with Kathleen Kennedy the other day. There you go. And this interview was from 4 days ago, by the way, like 5 days ago. Kathleen Kennedy the other day, which was so nice. Jodie Comer and I text all the time, who played Rey's mom, in Rise of Skywalker. It was such a wonderful experience. So there you go. There you have it. I mean, I think that Star Wars came up. There's no doubt about it. In this conversation, I think Star Wars definitely came up in the conversation.
Yeah, probably. And like I said, if she's putting into anything else for Star Wars, I wish her the best, and I can't wait because
Yeah, dude.
Daisy. I mean, she killed the 3 movies, so
Yeah, she's great in them, and I think that if you have a cool idea, then do it. And the other thing about it is, like, we have the Rogue Squadrons movie has already been confirmed to take place post Rise of Skywalker. They're clearly going to build something after that timeline. They're building out past the Skywalker saga already.
like I said, I mean, if the Finn show is gonna happen,
Yeah,
that'd be cool to see her in there.
yeah,
Maybe she'll train Finn to be a Jedi. That'd
maybe
be cool.
Well, the thing is like, if shit's going down, why wouldn't Rey be around?
Exactly.
Like, it would only make sense that she'd be around. So
Right.
it makes sense to me. I think it would really work. Even if she shows up just in the Rogue Squadrons movie, just to make it make sense that things are going down. We have this great powerful Force user out there. Why wouldn't she be a part of it? She's gonna have to be. So, not saying that she's necessarily gonna be in Rogue Squadrons, but I think she's coming back sooner than we thought. Like, I think that's got to be a definite thing. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
I just feel like there's a lot that you can put her in, for Star Wars.
Yeah.
Especially for what's to come. I mean, cool. It'd be cool to see her in a Mandalorian episode. That might be cool.
I don't know how you work that though.
True, but
in the timeline, she'd be a baby in that time, so you can't. But
in future, if Mandalorian continues for in enough time, it'd be cool to see her in something like that.
Yeah, I mean, you have to do a big time jump, but maybe. I mean, I don't think so. It's a series though, for sure. Like, one of these developing series. I mean, I would say probably. I don't have any doubt about it. But I'm not going to be surprised. And I called this. I'm not saying it is going to happen. I'm just saying don't be surprised. And I was talking to Sammy about this. She didn't think so, but I was talking to Sammy about this back on the Interax Entertainment podcast, because Daisy Ridley's been dropping hints left and right. It seems like anyway. And I said, don't be surprised if 2022 Celebration rolls out and they put her on that stage and announce something. Announce her being in a project. I think that is very. I think it's imminent. I think it's a lot more imminent than we thought. I think something's going to come out of this. So, I don't know, man. That's kind of where I'm at with it. I don't know about you, but yeah. I mean, I don't know. I do. You,
like I said, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw her in something sooner than later.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because I feel like Kathleen Kennedy, really appreciated what Daisy really did for these 3 movies, and we'll definitely want her in something very soon.
Well, look at this landscape we're in too. Where, I mean, granted, Star Wars is a completely different thing, but when you look at the landscape we're in of just your Iron Mans and Captain America's getting 5, 6, 7 movies, to be in. Does it really seem like enough for like a big character to just be in 3? I don't think so. Or a character that they were really trying to push to only get 3.
Well, I mean, Luke was in what, 5?
Luke did 5. Han did 5. Yeah. Well, Luke did 6 actually. Well, 5. No, 5.
5. Yeah.
Han did 5.
4, 5, 6, and then 8 and 9. Well, technically,
Harrison did 5.
No, Luke only did 4 then, right? No, because he was in the end. He was in the end of 7. Yeah. And then
5. 8, yeah. I mean, he did an episode of TV. So it's with Mandalorian. So you've seen Luke Skywalker pop up many a time. Han Solo.
You see how people are still wanting Sebastian Stan to play Luke and Mandalorian?
I don't think they're getting it because, I mean, they can beg for it all they want. And trust me, if like Sebastian Stan showed up as Luke Skywalker, I probably wouldn't care. I think it'd be pretty cool, probably. But on the same hand, they just hired that YouTuber who does the deep fakes. I think they're good. I think they're set. I think they're like, we're gonna.
Wait, they hired a YouTuber that does deep fake.
He did. So what it was is he did a deep fake of Luke Skywalker. He took the Luke Skywalker deep fake that they had in the episode,
and did it better.
Did it better, and people loved it, and so they hired him. Yeah. So Yeah,
So they're
so
just gonna do they're just gonna do that for all these episodes.
they're probably going deep fake crazy now. I'll be my guess with this new guy in there because the other thing is like Han Solo will pop up in this Boba Fett thing. I guarantee it. Like we'll see.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Come on, he's just down the street working on Indiana Jones. You think they're not going to call him in for a day for Boba Fett? And like, we just want you to bump into Boba Fett real quick. That was, and that's it. Just to make the universe feel all the more connected.
It's it's 2 months away, so
Yeah, it'd be really cool if Boba pops in, bumps into Han. I think it'll happen. It would make it feel all the more connected. Makes sense. There's some poetry there. There's backstory there. I think they could make it work big time. You know what I mean? So I see it working out. But what was one of the most bonkers fucking news stories I think I heard in a long time? This Mel Gibson thing. Did you hear about this?
I did. I did see the post. You also read that he's one of the first people casted for what was it? The show? What was that show?
It's going to be the Continental, which is the John Wick series, the
That
prequel. Yeah. So I mean, it's that's wild. Mel Gibson? Are you kidding me? I don't think he's done TV. I don't think so anyway.
he's only done movies.
Yeah, and also like I didn't expect him,
see.
this top tier actor, to show up in this it's a great franchise without a doubt, and it's been very successful, and it's
Yeah, he's literally only done movies.
yeah, very critically acclaimed franchise, but I didn't expect it, and I think it's cool.
I didn't even know they were making a John Wick show.
It's been out there for a while, but like it kind of got buried for a while too because I'd heard about it years ago that they were going to do this. Like, actually, I think it was after John Wick 2. I'd heard they were going to do a Continental series when I saw that one, and now it's legit. I mean, they got Mel Gibson attached to it. I mean, this is what's come out is Mel Gibson. First star set for John Wick origin series, the Continental, for Stars and Lionsgate Television, and
Well, they've decided another 5 to the cast.
did they
Yeah, it was an article 5 hours ago.
really? Who we got?
John Wick Stars prequel series, The Continental, adds 5 to cast, including Vida Alou Michelle Prada.
Not quite sure who that is.
Michelle Prada. Then you've got Hubert Point de Jour. Jessica Elaine. Noon Kate, I don't know how to pronounce that name. And Ben Robson.
So nobody we know.
Yeah.
Nobody who no Mel Gibson. I mean, that's for sure. I'm
right,
sure
of course, yeah.
There's probably some people that are excited about these picks, but there's definitely not Mel Gibson on this list, like without a doubt. I mean, this concept to me sounds amazing. By the way, I mean, all right, so the Continental will explore the origin behind the Hotel for Assassins, which increasingly has become the centerpiece of the John Wick universe. This will be accomplished through the eyes and actions of a young Winston Scott who was dragged into the hellscape of a 1975 New York City to face a past he thought he'd left behind. Winston charts a deadly course through the New York's mysterious underworld in a harrowing attempt to seize the iconic hotel, which serves as the meeting point for the world's most dangerous criminals. No word yet on who will play Winston Scott. The hotel owner is played in the films by Ian McShane. Gibson will play a character named Cormac. There you go. Anyway, it sounds like a cool idea. I like the 1975, concept of it. Like that sounds cool. We're going way back. Yeah, no, I'm down with this, man. I think it's going to be cool. Personally, like I fucking, this franchise, dude, like John Wick, they've all been very consistently good. I mean, 1, 2, and 3 have been great. Keanu Reeves does well in them. I mean, they're still going to make the movies. I mean, John Wick 4 comes out next year, I believe. So, it's going to continue. Or John Wick Chapter 4, I believe, will be the full title, if I'm not mistaken on that.
Yeah,
so,
John Wick Chapter 4 in next year, May of next year.
Right. So, I mean, they're just gonna.
It looks like they're gonna make a 5th one as well.
Yeah. By the way,
I've only seen the first John Wick. By the way, I haven't seen any of the other ones.
Are you serious? You haven't seen 2 and 3? Oh, they're great. They're fucking great. Yeah.
I heard the third one was really good.
3 is my favorite so far. Yeah.
That's what a lot of people have told me.
Yeah, at the time when I saw 2, I was like, for me it was like I liked 2 more than 1, I think. and then now I kind of like 2 a little bit less for whatever reason. I don't know, just didn't play as
So it's
well. I still really
it's
love
what?
it.
So it's 3, 1, and 2 for you.
3-1-2 for me right now. Yeah, and 2 still plays really well. That's not a diss at 2. They're all phenomenal. Like I just think that it went down for me a little bit in the rank, just a little bit. Like I kind of went back to 1 and had a new opinion on it. I was like, okay, this is kind of a really cool small scale, not a massive budget type of action movie. I really enjoy that. Granted, the budgets have become so much bigger. And then I just think for like action junkies, with 3, you really get your fix of action. If you're like one of those action junkies who just,
Yeah, I was gonna say that's what I've heard is that three's got like a lot of action in
oh
it.
my God, it's nonstop and it just keeps going. And it's like, see, it's like relentless with its action. You know what I mean? Did you watch? Because I know you're a Hulu guy. Sorry, because we were talking about TV shows, kind of on topic, kind of off topic. Did you watch this "Why the Last Man" thing?
Why the Last Man?
You didn't watch it? Okay, I didn't watch it
Probably
either.
probably not.
It was okay. Well, this is what was so surprising is it's been on for 1 season, and FX on Hulu, they canceled it. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I did see that you posted that as well.
Yeah, well, Variety says this, which is why The Last Man has been canceled by FX weeks before its season debuts its final episode on FX on Hulu. The news was shared by Why the Last Man showrunner Eliza Clark through her Twitter on Sunday. In her post, Clark thanks FX and the show's creative team for their partnership on the project. She also expresses hope that Why the Last Man will be able to continue its run on a different network, possibly. We have learned that we will not be moving forward with FX on Hulu for season 2 of Why the Last Man. I have never in my life been more committed to a story, and there is so much more to tell. Clark wrote, we had a gender diverse team of brilliant artists led by women at almost every corner of our production. It is the most collaborative, creatively fulfilling, and beautiful thing I've ever been a part of. We don't want it to end. Representatives at FX and Hulu did not immediately respond to Variety's request for comments. So they're just pretty much ignoring it. Well, listen, I don't know why the hell this thing got canceled, because in my opinion, all right, so this is why it's so surprising to me, because if you
It,
were
it
at,
only it it only got to episode. It was supposed to be 9 episodes, but it only got to episode 8
here's
because
my
it got canceled.
here's my take on this as somebody who never watched the show. So number one, I know it had low ratings. I get that it had low ratings. That's probably the reason that they decided to pull the plug on it.
I mean, did it get low ratings?
It did. Like, not ratings as far as like how it scored and how people liked it necessarily, but low ratings as far as how much it was viewed.
Ah,
Yeah. So the
okay.
viewership was low. So that's that's not good for any show, obviously, if you have a low rating. But the thing with Why the Last Man is that the Disney Investors Day last year, they were hyping the shit out of this thing. Like, this is gonna be one of our best shows, like, kind of thing.
Well, I mean, there's a article I'm reading here that says that it wasn't canceled due to viewership.
What's the
At
update?
least, at least, at least not mainly because of viewership.
What's the
It, sa-
update then? Because I really
it
was
says
curious about that.
including contract extensions for certain characters.
Oh, you're shitting me.
Um,
That can't be it. I mean, I believe that's what you're reading. I that can't be it though. Come on. I mean, it's bullshit, if you ask me. Contract extensions. Didn't that same thing happen with like Batgirl or something on the CW or some shit, right? Like where the actress or something about the contract, and then they didn't cancel the show, they kept it going, but just got a whole new character to be Batgirl. It was something stupid like that for season 2. I don't know, but either way, that's crazy if you ask me, because they were hyping the shit out of this thing. I figured it was due to the low viewership, and frankly, I mean, well, let's be real here. You weren't watching the show,
no,
right? Why? No, like, you
because
can be honest.
I'd never even heard of it.
There you go. Like, the marketing was horrible. The marketing was bad. I didn't even know it was coming out until people started talking about it. You know what I mean? Like, I saw a couple people I know that started just talking about it. I was like, that came out already? Because I didn't see any trailers.
It says here, as a result of all this, FX had to make a decision about Why the Last Man's future on October 15th, which was the date when the already extended options for the show's long attached cast members expired.
Right.
In the end, despite the series coming in under its budget of 8.5 million per episode, FX elected against spending an additional 3 million to further extend those options and cancel the show ahead of its season 1 finale.
I think that is because of low viewership, though. Because if you're not getting the views, why would you spend the money? That's kind of where I'm at with it.
Because Hulu, like most streaming services, doesn't announce ratings in the typical sense, it's
No.
believed that FX had little to no real viewership data to base its decision on.
That's true. We'll never actually know the real numbers, but I can guarantee it was getting low views because, like you said, you'd never heard of it. I had never seen a trailer for it anywhere, like, honestly. And, like, it's not like that other one that you watch. Like, I see trailers not all the time, but I do see marketing for it. What's the other FX one? FX on Hulu series.
There's a couple of them.
Well, there's the one, though. Gosh dang it. It's not Rear Window, but it's like Rear Window. That one you watched, the mystery show.
Only Murders in the Building.
Thank you. Couldn't think of the name of it, but
that's
one
an,
is
that's an FX on Hulu.
I think so. But either way, like either that, or it's a Hulu original. Doesn't matter. My point is they talked about that at Disney Investors Day.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
Well.
The only like, if it wasn't for me like being extremely bored and just looking for shows to watch on Hulu, I wouldn't have known that show even existed.
Fair enough, but I have seen trailers. But
like I literally just went online and like searched up new shows on Hulu, and that was one that happened to pop up. I looked at it, had a 96 Rotten Tomato score and like a 90 audience score. I was like, all right,
might have been the case for you, but the show's a hit. Like a lot of
that's what I
people
mean. I mean, yeah, it's got a 100% audience score and a 96 Rotten Tomato
which
score.
means
like,
whatever
and
they're doing,
watching it.
The word's gotten out about it. You know what I mean? And like, why the Last Man was one of their biggest properties because they were, you know, that was like a graphic novel that was massive. It was one of their first comic book things on FX, I think. So it was a big property, you know, and the fact that they didn't market it, you know, when they were hyping the shit out of it at Disney Investors Day last year is baffling to me, you know, because there's a lot of people who are fans of that source material, but nobody really knew when the show was coming out, I don't think, because I think that probably is right up my alley and your alley, seeing how it's like
I was gonna say I saw it was based on Disney Comics. Or DC Comics, sorry.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So I think it would have been up our alley. It's just we didn't watch it because
I do also prefer DC shows to Marvel shows. So
yeah, we probably would have watched it. You know, that's the thing. But
I might still watch the 8 episodes that are on Hulu.
God, I hope it doesn't have a cliffhanger. Though that's the thing.
Because that's the thing is they're not even able to finish the season. Like the season finale was episode 9, which was gonna come out in like 2 weeks, and now they can't do it, which kind of sucks.
Is that what they said? Or they're not even going to air it?
No, they aren't going to be able to.
They're just cutting it.
Yeah.
Oh.
I guess they didn't get to finish filming it.
Wow, it's going to piss people off.
Oh, 100%. Look, I'm pretty sure I read it here when it said, in one of the reports I read, it said that.
I don't even know if it's worth watching.
That you know what, that is true, because I mean,
yeah,
I'm pretty sure the 8th episode is just gonna end in a cliffhanger.
Yeah, I don't even know if it's worth watching then if we can't even see the season finale, but. Yeah, that's gonna be one of those things.
Here we go. Yeah, so it said it was when I was reading the article. It says FX elected against spending an additional 3 million to further extend those options and cancel the show ahead of its season 1 finale premiering in November. Wow! So can't even get the finale.
Christ Almighty, man! Christ Almighty, dude. Like, fuck. But you know, speaking of DC, let's talk about DC Fandome, another disaster. Because.
I was actually, what's funny is I saw Cisco went live today on Stereo, and I was talking to him
did you?
about DC Fandom and stuff, how we reacted to a bunch of the trailers.
Oh, I got you. Did he watch the Fandom himself?
He did. He did. He said he kind of liked it in that I think he told me that you I don't know if you guys talked about that you were gonna. Did you tell him you were gonna watch it?
I told him I watched it. I thought it was a disaster.
And I told him that you said that you thought it was a disaster.
Well, he and I disagree all the time, but that's okay. No, I mean, I don't.
I mean, like I said, he didn't say he enjoyed it. He said he was like iffy about it. So
I see. I didn't like it. I didn't like the Fandom. Like, granted, like I'm not saying that everything about it was horrible, but. Okay, because like I think I was kind of going over this with you because like the beginning was fine. I mean they brought up the host. Like, by the way, Tiffany Smith, who's been in the YouTube entertainment movie space for a while, she hosted this thing. She did a great job hosting. Like, it's not her hosting, that wasn't the problem. What's the where I have a problem with this one is the fact that, okay, because DC Fandom last year was a massive success, because at that point, like, New York Comic Con did it at home, where they tried to air their thing at home and didn't go well. It was a disaster. And I think a couple other conventions tried to stream at home, just didn't go well. And then, like, DC Fandom comes out and does it brilliantly last year. Shows you can do one of these just streaming straight to people's televisions. And here we are doing DC Fandom, and it sucks this year because Dwayne The Rock Johnson came out in the beginning after they introduced the host and everything, and that was good. And he brought out the Black Adam teaser, which, by the way, Black Adam teaser was great. It was a great freaking teaser. Short, for sure. It was definitely short, but it was good. And even Dwayne Johnson said, I don't think we had like a lot of the movie shot yet or something like that, or something along those lines. But it was a good teaser. You liked it, right? The Black Adam one. It was
Oh yeah, 100%.
great.
I'm actually super excited for that.
Yeah, can't wait for it. So it was nice to finally see a glimpse of this, since The Rock has been trying to get this developed for what seems like 27 years now.
Wait, did they show Aquaman's armor for the next movie?
They did. They had that Aquaman featurette. That was like the next thing they showed. That was all going really well. I thought that was cool.
His blue armor looks pretty cool.
Behind the scenes stuff, that was great. They had James Wan and Jason Momoa talk about it. That was cool.
Oh, he's gonna have gold boots in the next season. I'm so freaking excited.
Flash.
Well,
yes. Here's my problem, and like, as excited as you are about that, let me tell you my issue. They bring out Grant Gustin, who didn't look like he wanted to be there. And he rambled on about the boots. When we get this, we had maybe a 3-minute thing, not even, like 2.5 minutes for Aquaman. And then like maybe 1.5 minute for Black Adam.
Because it looks like they did something for Black Manta as well. Because they showed his armor as well.
Oh, okay,
here.
Cool.
Yeah,
wonderful. But you know, the thing that was, Grant Gustin came out, and this is where I started to check out a little bit. It's not just because I don't watch the Flash show, which that's part of it. But Grant Gustin came out, didn't look like he wanted to be there whatsoever. You watch this thing, he looks like he's so fucking bored. And rambled on about these boots for, I think, 6 to 7 minutes. And that was all they were talking about, was the boots. It's like, are the boots that big a deal that you got to talk about it for 7 minutes, and we can only get 3 minutes for Aquaman and 1.5 minute for...
Maybe.
Come on. Give me a break. Like, no offense, because I know you like the show, but I'm saying, like, I think that people came to see the big stuff, you know, the movies. Other things I liked, Ava DuVernay announced that she's going to be doing a show called DMZ. I mean, like, listen, I know people are going to sue me. I've seen one Ava DuVernay movie. She directed Wrinkle in Time, and that movie it was one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Yeah, I heard that was horrible.
And Ava DuVernay directed that, but apparently everything else Ava DuVernay does is phenomenal. I've only seen the one thing, so
I haven't seen anything by her. So, well, I saw Girls Trip, and I mean, I guess it was kind of funny.
Okay, well, either way, take that for what it is. You know, so the one thing I've seen, but everybody else loves her shit, and Girls Trip is supposed to be good, whatever. But she's talking about this DMZ thing, and it sounds really cool. And Rosario Dawson's starring in it, so I'm happy about that. You know, that sounds cool. I like Rosario Dawson, so I'll be happy to see her play in that. Then they show there was a different trailer. And
it's gonna premiere in HBO Max.
DMZ, yeah. Mm-hmm. HBO Max looks great. I mean, I'm excited. They didn't show a trailer, but they showed images, and so that sounded fun. The other thing they showed a trailer, and this looks really cool, for a show called Naomi for the CW it's going to air on, and it actually looks really cool. I don't like these CW shows typically, but like this one looks really good. You know, I'm not going to lie, like I was excited about it. Like the teaser was like this girl named Naomi.
Oh, it's also Ava DuVernay. It's also her as well.
Is she developing that one too?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. All right, there you go. So people should be excited about that, I guess, because she's got a lot of high acclaim as a filmmaker. So that's good that she's developing 2 shows. So Ava DuVernay also doing Naomi, and it looks great. Honestly, it looks really, really cool. I'm excited for it.
What is this even about?
I don't know, but this girl like has powers. No, I kind of know. This kind of felt like to me what Miss Marvel's gonna be for Disney Plus. A little bit like she has like she's younger, but she has like superpowers. It looks like a high school story. But she gets like this text about Superman being in the area, and then she goes out to find Superman, and she passes out, doesn't find Superman, but then she like wakes up from being unconscious, and then she looks up at the sky, and you just see Superman fly by. You can't tell who it is, so I don't know who's playing Superman. Probably the fucking Tyler Hoechlin, right, who plays him on the other ones, but she sees Superman fly by. They didn't reveal who it was though. Who's playing him, what iteration, but still, whatever. I mean, it looks fun. It looks good. It looks like it's got a darker tone to it a little bit. So definitely interested. So that was another thing I liked a lot. The Peacemaker panel was okay. I mean, they kind of started out with John Cena, where he did this joke thing. It didn't land very well. A lot of the jokes were very bad in this thing. They tried to do a lot of comedy stuff. Didn't work at all. But they had this whole panel. James Gunn is developing the Peacemaker series. I guess writing and directing the whole thing for HBO Max. I'm excited for it. The trailer looked great. If you've seen
we didn't. I was to say we didn't get around to that one.
No, we didn't. That's right. You missed that. I'm sorry. It wasn't my favorite one, but it looks really good. I mean, I'm excited. Well, the reason I didn't show it to you is because you still haven't seen the Suicide Squad.
That is also true. Yeah. I haven't. Yeah, that is true.
So I thought you should have seen that before watching that one. The other one I didn't show you because I couldn't believe he hadn't seen Shazam.
The Shazam 2 one, yeah.
Okay, the Shazam behind the scenes reel gave me chills. Like, I loved it. I'm so excited.
The thing is, so I've seen parts of the movie. I just haven't seen it as a whole. That's the thing.
Right. The Shazam Fury of the Gods thing looks amazing.
Well, I mean, I can watch it on HBO Max.
Yeah, you can.
When I got free time now. So.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a good point. Movie's fucking amazing, but the reel that they showed for the behind the scenes of the new one, it looks great. They clearly upped the stakes, upped the budget. I mean, that stuff I really enjoyed. So that was fun.
And the problem is that I won't be able to watch Suicide Squad anytime soon.
No, because they took it off. Yeah. So you got that going for you. But either way, excited about that. And then the Flash trailer was really good. But it was yeah. What was it? A minute long? You know, I mean,
it's because he said they don't have an actual trailer. It was just a little bit that they put together.
But again, it goes back to my point of they could have still had a whole presentation where you had the director talking about it a little bit, and they didn't do any of that. It was like they gave it Flash like a minute and a half when all these other things are getting.
You did get Michael Keaton's voice in it, which was pretty cool.
Yes, so we got Michael Keaton's voice, which is great. Michael Keaton, the back of him was revealed anyway, so that was cool. It's good to know he's actually in it in the suit. The old Batmobile, that was cool. They didn't show it actually, but it was under the blanket. Stoked about all that. I think the movie's going to be really good. I have confidence in it. I think. Now that's the other thing that happened too, because all these Marvel movies just got pushed. Did you read about this with all these Marvel?
I did. I was going to say I did see the article that all these Marvel movies were being pushed.
Black Panther 2 and The Flash now come out a week apart. I don't think that's going to be good for
with the Flash movie. Yeah, so the Flash movie comes out November 2nd.
Unless Flash is like best thing DC's done, I don't think that it's going to bode well for it. The fact that Black Panther 2 is not coming out.
Black Panther. Well, no. I mean, it looks like Black Panther 2 is actually being pushed now to 2023.
Did they move it again?
Not 2022. No, it's going to be in 2023.
Oh, they moved it again. Oh, there you go. See, I'm just going by what I heard last. So
I'm seeing here it's going to be June 30th, 2023. Is
good.
It's going to be released now.
Somebody had to move. That sucks that we're not going to see it for a little longer, but somebody had to move. Let's be honest, that wouldn't have gone well for one of them.
No, it wouldn't have.
Yeah,
no.
That's too close.
You know, even though they didn't show it in for the Flash movie, that little featurette, whatever, but it's looking like Grant Gustin's gonna be in the new Flash movie as well, which I'll be if he's actually in it. I think it's gonna be really cool because he's honestly my favorite Flash right now. So. If he's actually going to be in it, then that would be cool. Like if he plays a Flash from a different dimension or something.
It's possible because I mean,
really cool.
You know, they showed the multiple Flashes in the trailer, and
right.
It's possible too because Ezra Miller showed up in Flash. You know, so that
exactly in the show. Yeah, exactly. It wasn't in one of the actual Flash episodes.
It was the crossover event.
It was that crossover. Yeah.
So either way, but they've been on screen together before, so it would make sense that they were setting that up.
And
Yeah.
Kiersey Clemens is gonna play his Ezra Miller's Flash's she's gonna play Iris West Allen, so she's gonna be his wife, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not against it. I mean, I think that, they're
Really
opening the multiverse.
Looks like Gal Gadot's gonna be in it too, so we're gonna see Wonder Woman in that.
This is DC's version of the Spider-Man movie. Essentially, they're opening up the multiverse and like
that and
Doctor Strange. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. So they're opening it up and anything's possible now. That's kind of what we're looking at. I mean, if you can have Michael Keaton's Batman, everything's off the table. Nothing's off the table.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They've already put the day that the new Flash episode or new season's gonna air, so I'm really excited for that. That's so crazy too, though. Is like season 7? I watched it literally like a couple months ago, and it got released. The first episode was in March, and they're already gonna release it again in November. Like that's crazy because season 6, like the time period between season 6 and 7, were so far from each other that now they're releasing the next season like 5 months after the last one they just released. It's crazy.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting to me that from March to November there's already the next season, because I believe, if not mistaken, the last episode of season 7 came out in July. So from July to November to release a whole nother season is
right.
Crazy.
Let's go back into I wanted to mention this the stuff I didn't like in DC fandom. Oh, other thing, we'll talk about this too. The way they ended it with the Batman trailer. It was a good trailer, but underwhelming, I think, compared to the last one.
Oh, by the way, I talked to Cisco about that too, and he told me he preferred this one to the first one.
Well, of course we disagreed.
Yeah. I told him too that I disagreed with him on that, because I prefer, because I told him what I told you, is that there's aspects of the second trailer that I prefer to the first one because they added a little more in the second one. But for the most part, I did enjoy the first one to this newest one.
Again, like it looks like it's well shot. Like the action looks good. I mean, it was the dialogue that was underwhelming.
Seeing Andy Serkis in there, and
yeah, it was a cool reveal.
The actress that's gonna play Catwoman, seeing her was cool too.
I guess I can say it's definitely like it's a trailer that's growing on me maybe a little bit more. Seeing
the old Batmobile was also really cool.
Yeah, it's growing on me, but I was a little underwhelmed by the dialogue of it. I think that's what we're rubbing the wrong way. Like maybe it's something we have to see in the movie in the context itself.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because the dialogue too for me was like, yeah,
seemed a little off. Seemed like people will see the movie will get it. I mean, it seemed a little Batman Forever to me. Like
and it was funny. That's literally what Cisco told me, is that like he literally told me that exact same thing to me. He's like, oh, Dom thought it was like a lot of Batman Forever.
I thought the dialogue was that. Yeah, for sure. Like I'm not talking about the look. I'm not talking about the that action.
Which he told me he told me he didn't understand, but
maybe if I explain it to him, he'll get it. Because like the dialogue is what I'm focusing in on and talking about there, because it looks like a much better movie than Batman Forever. I don't think it'll be that bad, but it's and Pattinson sounds good. He sounds on point, like as the Batman. Like we got more of him talking, so that stuff was good. The shot of the Riddler, the coffee cup, like that was cool. Like I thought that. Yeah, was really awesome.
The question mark in his coffee. That was really cool.
At the end, the upside down shot of Batman was dope. Like that was good stuff. And the Batmobile coming out of the fire, like I liked all that. So
and then I was the shot of Robert Pattinson walking through the fire, the upside down shot. That's
what I mean. Yeah, that was cool.
That was sick.
Yeah, so I something about the dialogue for some reason, I don't know what it is, just rubbed me the wrong way. But
I don't know. Yeah, I was supposed to say, I found it kind of corny.
It was weird. It was weird
in a way. Yeah, I don't know. It was, but I guess that's just something we need to watch the movie for.
Maybe it's something about it didn't feel right, but the rest of it, I'm very happy with it for the most part. I don't think it looks like a bad movie by any means. So don't get me wrong. I was just slightly underwhelmed by it. That's all. Yeah, I don't know. Like writing is, it's one of the most important parts of your movie, I think, is like to have your dialogue not feel corny, not feel cheesy. I hope this is something that not a lot of people are disappointed by, for sure. I hope this goes well, and I hope it plays well. So don't get me wrong. I have high hopes. Still excited, folks. Don't get me wrong. I think Pattinson's gonna kill it.
Doctor Strange has been pushed back too now.
Yeah. Well, it's 5 weeks. It's not that big of a push.
I guess yeah, that's
Went
not
from March to
that bad.
May, but it's only 5 weeks between the
Thor:
two.
Love and Thunder has been pushed.
Yeah, Thor: Love and Thunder. That's right. Everything got pushed. The whole slate. Yeah.
Yep, the new Ant-Man movie. Well, I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 has been kept for its initial release date,
Yeah.
which I guess is cool, but
Definitely. No, I mean they kept some stuff. I mean, yeah, it'll work out. I mean, I don't think we're gonna, you know, I don't think we're gonna miss much. Honestly, like, I think we'll be all right. I'll tell you, the stuff I didn't like about DC Fandom was this: the news breaks. They had these like news flash moments where they'd be like, "Breaking news," and then they'd read off a fucking sponsor. Like, how is that breaking news? Somebody explain to me how that's fucking breaking news. That didn't work for me. That was dumb as hell. So didn't like any of that. I mean, that stuff stunk. Sponsorships in general, diving into it, man, I'm telling you, like, just it got so overwhelming with that. With the sponsorships. There was one weird segment about hats. They kept diving into hats or something like that you could buy or something. It was like Superman hats. Come on. What the hell? But I'll tell you what I did like, or didn't like as well. Sorry, not did like, didn't like as well. And I thought this was, somebody comment on this for me. What the fuck was that King Shark music video? Somebody tell me. Because the guy comes out, Jose, you gotta hear this. The guy comes out, right?
mm-hmm.
And he comes out and he's like, now, the moment you've been waiting for, and it is a music video of King Shark. I don't even think Stallone was voicing him, like, in this thing. So they would take this weird mixture of him, because one of the main lines he says in the movie is num num. He says it constantly in the Suicide Squad movie. And he was just saying num num over and over, not to any sort of beat. So it was this weird mixture of this. So first of all, they started out with like what looked like a really cheap commercial of a guy texting his buddy, being like, "Hey, have you heard about that new jam, that new King Shark?" It was weird, man, though, because it looked really cheap the way it was shot. And then, like, next thing you know, like, King Shark's on the screen and he's going num 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 num. It's like to a beat that doesn't make sense. And then they're like compiling footage of him saying num num from the movie. It was so weird and random, and it made no sense, and it was out of place. Somebody explain that to me, please. If anybody knows that.
It'd be funny is that if they literally went on Fiverr and they're like, all right, let's just get someone to make us a cheap ass video so we can just post here at the DC Fandom.
Really, though, I'm telling you, it was out of place. It was weird. I don't know what anybody was, who pitched that and like thought that'd be a good idea, and furthermore, like, who at DC like fucking approved it, because that was some shit, dude. I'm telling you, like, that disappointed the hell out of me. My personal opinion, again, I would really like to have somebody explain it to me, though. I believe me, because I'm still thinking about a good explanation for what the hell that was. What overall, though, what I think they could have done with DC Fandom was to, I don't know how else to explain it, but like what I think they could have done with DC Fandom was to probably break it up into segments. Like, okay, this is the portion where we're going to talk about comic books. This is the portion where we're going to talk about our animated stuff. This is the portion where we're going to talk about our TV shows, and this is the portion where we're going to talk about our movies. I think that probably would have done the best, like when breaking it up into segments. That could have fixed a lot of it, honestly. If they were going to advertise this much. By the way, I think they advertised like 3 different animated things. Fucking awful. Like, it looks so cheap, all of it. Like, I was blown away by how cheap it all looked and how bad it all looked. Injustice is a movie that people are looking forward to being adapted into an animated thing.
Did they show that DC League of Super Pets?
They did. They showed a little thing of it, okay. Yeah. Okay. By the way, just so everybody knows, I didn't watch the whole 4-hour thing. I had to check out after 2. I was done after 2 hours. Like,
that's how bad it was?
It was so bad, dude. I was like, I can't take it anymore. I'm done after about 2 hours. Because there was so much stuff that I didn't care about, I didn't care about it, or just should have been broken into segments, man. Telling us, the time. They should have given us a schedule. Come in here for comics, come in here for animated, come in here for movies, come in here for TV shows at this time. Would have went so much smoother if you just done it that way. But, I know Pattinson looked like he didn't want to be there. They showed Robert Pattinson. Apparently, he looked like he didn't want
I
to
mean,
be there.
you, I mean, you also said that it looked like Grant Gustin didn't want to be there, so
Nobody wanted to be there. The Rock, maybe. I mean, he always just looks like he wants to be there. It doesn't matter what he's doing. Yeah.
true.
What do you think of his rap song? I've heard some people talk shit about it. The Tech Nine song. I like the song overall. I think
we did. I think we did talk about it. That
I thought his section was short.
We did. As I said, we did talk about it off screen. That I did like his part. Obviously, this is the first time he's ever rapped before. So for a first time rapping, it's not bad.
I didn't think so either.
I actually enjoyed it. I felt like his part could have been a little longer.
Definitely. It was
But
short.
I feel like because it is his first time rapping, they didn't give him that long of the song. But I guess if this song, which right now it's not getting a lot of it's getting actually a nice bit of hate.
Yeah.
But if it would have gotten a lot of likes and stuff, then he probably would have gotten, I don't know, maybe they would have made an extended version where he got more time or whatever. But I enjoyed it. It was cool.
It was hard to judge his rapping because I'll agree, because it was so short. There wasn't enough time to judge it,
And again, this is the first time he's ever rapped before, so you can't.
Right.
It's really hard to judge his rapping skills when for one, this is his first time rapping, and
Agreed.
two, he only got like 30 seconds in the song to rap.
Right. Yeah. The funny thing
what's actually really funny for me is that when someone first told me that actually what's funny is I found out about this through YouTube. I'm like, wait, Dwayne Johnson's on a rap song with Tech Nine? So I went on Apple Music and sat down and listened to it. And the first time listening to it through, I literally thought that the only part that Dwayne Johnson was in was at the end when he said, "Thank you, Tech Nine. Thank you, whoever says one take."
Oh, you didn't think it sounded like him the first time around?
No. Yeah, so the first time, his part, I didn't think it was actually Dwayne Johnson. I thought it was Tech Nine, and that the only part Dwayne Johnson had was the very end. And so I went through it a couple of times. I was like, oh, wait, no, that's Dwayne Johnson. And so when I sat down and actually listened to it, I was like, it's all right.
Yeah, for me, I think the thing that nobody's thinking about, because everybody's talking about how this is going to hurt Dwayne Johnson's career. Nobody's talking about how brilliant of a marketing move it was on Tech Nine's part to have Dwayne Johnson in a song. Nobody's talking about that aspect of it. The fact that this is brilliant for Tech Nine's career. It might be bad for Dwayne Johnson, but Tech Nine, it's brilliant marketing to have Dwayne Johnson in a song.
Except when the whole song overall gets too much hate, then it's not really that smart.
I don't know,
especially when you get, cool. It would have been, maybe not have him rap, but like have him like I said, like towards the end, kind of just say some stuff. That probably would have been smarter.
I push back on that though. Even if the song was universally hated, which is not quite there. It's a lot of people don't like it.
It's pretty close.
Not quite there, like I said.
I haven't heard any. If I'm being honest, I've seen a lot of YouTube videos, and I really haven't seen.
Hang on.
I've maybe seen a couple people say some good stuff.
Hang on
about it.
Well, let's pull up the stats real quick, just so we're clear on where it's at. Just I'm saying though, but well, I'll make my point while I'm at it. Even if it was universally hated, which I don't think we're quite there, by any sense of the word. The way I look at this, hold on, because it's gonna make a sound if I pull this up. Okay, all right. First of all right. So this is what I want to bring up. We're looking at 7.2 million views, right?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, 458K on like, and 8.1K dislike. So
it is. It is also number 12 on trending for music. So.
My point is, what are we doing right now? We're talking about Tech Nine. I've heard Tech Nine mentioned on so many different things this week because of this. So the name Tech Nine is being said a lot, is the point. It's brilliant marketing. There's no such thing as bad press, in my opinion. Like if you're talking about it, like it's he wants his name in everybody's mouth. And he's succeeded.
I guess when it's talking, whether it's good or bad, it's still your name's still being said, so it doesn't really matter.
Exactly. People are learning the name Tech Nine who haven't heard it before. There's a lot of people out there who don't
either
know
that
the name
or
Tech Nine.
either that or you haven't heard him in a while.
Sure. Yeah.
And he's
Exactly.
he's making his way back
Yeah. Well,
around.
he puts out music like fucking. He puts out like 3-4 albums a year.
Well,
It seems like.
I ain't even gonna lie. This is the first time that I heard from Tech Nine in a while. I think since the Dax song that I showed you with him.
Maybe
Faster.
in terms of like mainstream stuff, yeah, this is like one of the first like big marks he's made in a while. But you know, he puts out like 3-4 albums a year. It seems.
I mean, he put out.
Have you ever looked at his discography? It's massive. He's got a lot of fucking albums.
He put out 3 albums last year.
Yeah, there you go.
He's put out 2 this year.
Yeah.
Although in 2019 he only put 1. 2018 he put 1. 2016 he put 1. So I mean, in the previous years in 2014 he didn't even release 1. So last year and this year were the years where he went off for albums.
Yeah.
In terms of singles, he's put out the most of singles. He's put out, Jesus Christ, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 singles this year.
Yep.
He put out 3
always
last
working,
year.
this guy. Always working.
Put 3 the year before.
Yeah.
Fucking like 8 the year in 2018.
Right.
Like this dude's just putting music out.
I'll tell you, the overall point is that if you hadn't heard Tech Nine before, now you've heard of him. You know, because of this song.
100%.
Yeah. So he's brilliant marketing. It's the same thing. It's a different tactic, believe me, but it's similar to what Kanye does. He does some stupid shit every time before he releases an album. You hear Kanye's name in the news for something dumb he did, right? Every time.
I mean, yeah, like before he released Donda, he got kicked out of the Mercedes-Benz because he was living there.
Yeah, and regardless of the reviews on the albums, it gets a lot of plays because people go and listen to it.
What is his album doing these days?
Donda? I don't know. I love it. I think it's phenomenal, personally.
I mean, I like two of his songs only because one mentions Lionel Messi and the other one mentions Giannis. So
yeah, I don't know. I really dug it. I thought it was good. Really phenomenal.
Let me see what it's okay. It's got listens on Spotify, which is good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Kanye. It's going to get listens.
Yeah. That's what he does brilliantly is he does something stupid. So everybody hears the name Kanye multiple times before he drops an album. And there you have it. You know, that's just how it works. So,
I mean, he's got 47 million monthly listeners on Spotify. So
he's a marketing genius. Like, there's no doubt about it. Like, you could call him an idiot all you want, but it's getting him listens, you know?
It looks like yeah, Off the Grid, it looks like is his most listened to from the Donda.
Yeah.
No, wait, is it Hurricane? Which one is it? No, it's Hurricane with 130 million listens per month.
Yeah, I agree. I
mean, it has here his top 5 most listened to songs,
I've heard that. I'm sorry.
Hurricane is his second most listened to.
Yeah, well, The Weeknd's in it, so that helps. In that song.
In which Hurricane?
Yeah, so that always helps. Yeah.
And then The N-Word in Paris, that song is his most listened to song of all time. With 753 million.
That's a great fucking song too.
Listens. It is very catchy. I still go back and listen to it to this day.
I want him and Jay-Z to do another collab album because that Watch the Throne was such a good album, like, from them. Like, they did a good job with that.
I might have heard some songs from there. I don't know if
really
I have.
good, dude. Like, Kanye is a fucking bro down, dude. We'll do some Kanye at some point.
I'm down.
Because he's put out some phenomenal records. For sure, without a doubt. I love him. I love his music.
Oh well, I mean, the song "N-Word in Paris" is in there.
Yeah.
So that's a really good song.
Yeah, a lot of those songs made it into the Great Gatsby movie.
With Leonardo and Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, have we talked about that? Did you watch that movie?
I love that film.
I did too.
I watched it. You know, it's the one and only time I watched it was in high school. After we read the Great Gatsby book, we watched the Tobey Maguire, Leonardo DiCaprio Great Gatsby movie, which was phenomenal, by the way. DiCaprio was amazing in that film, and so was Tobey Maguire. They both killed it.
Underappreciated. That was one of those books,
100%.
though. I think it was doomed from the beginning, though, because that was one of those books that was like so beloved, and like so I feel like no matter what, people would have been disappointed. You know,
which Great Gatsby is actually on. I saw it's on HBO Max.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I own it, I think. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I love that movie. I own it. Yeah, because that movie is, it was really good, dude. And nobody appreciates
48.
it.
I mean, 48 Rotten Tomatoes, 67 audience score. So
Yeah, like I don't understand that. I think that's way underrated. I think that's way
100,
underrated.
100. It's such an underrated film.
It's so good. It's so good. Tobey Maguire did good work. I mean, it was great though because they've been best friends forever. Him and Tobey Maguire in real life, and as to the fact that they finally got to do something together, I think was great. Too bad it just tanked though. But
Yeah, true.
I tell you, it's because the book is so beloved that
It's
everybody read it in
funny.
high school and they had an
I mean,
attachment and.
I prefer the movie to the book, if I'm being honest.
Really interesting. Yeah, no, I don't know that anybody would agree with you on that. But that's your opinion. I respect it.
I think it's just because I always just preferred movies to books, anyways. Because I'm just not I'm not that big of a reader, so so I just prefer movies to book. Obviously, books have more details, but
yeah. Did you read any more of Ronin?
I'm on chapters 9 or 10,
Yeah.
I think.
I'm looking to get some time to finally sit down and crack it open. I mean, I haven't really.
I just anytime I'm out of like YouTube videos or shows to watch.
Yeah.
And I got free time, I'll just sit down in my bed and just crack the book open.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I really need to crack it open, get into it. I'm excited for it.
Although now that I have The Sopranos to watch, I don't know if I'll have any time anytime soon to read that book.
I might not get to it for another year, so you might have time. We'll see what happens. I don't know. Hopefully I can.
I might forget what's already happened by the time I get back to that book, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I just have to restart it. I have to restart books all the time because I'll crack them open, start them. And sometimes I'm just loving them, but something will distract me and I'll get out of it. You know what I mean?
Although,
it's like,
now that I'm actually thinking about it, I've remembered everything that's happened so far. I just have that kind of memory. I have like that photographic memory where
that's good.
I rarely forget stuff. Yeah.
Some books I can do it where it's like I know exactly what was going on, and
I'm definitely gonna have to. I'm gonna have to start over the Aftermath trilogies because I've already forgotten what the hell's happened in the first book.
Yeah. Oh, those books are great. I again, for the audience, if you haven't read the Star Wars Aftermath trilogy, it's really good.
I probably won't get to those books until next year, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I'm working on them. I'm working on getting through. Actually, right now for me, I got to get to High Republic. I got to get through because they're releasing these books. I'm sorry, I hate I'm sorry because like it's not so much regardless of the stories. I mean, I just hate the release schedule of the High Republic books. Because they'll put out like 4 of them in like one day, and then you'll wait a couple months, and then you'll get 4 more. You know what I mean? It's like, oh god, come on. Or maybe not one day, but they release like 4 in a month. It's like it's so ridiculous. It's like I gotta read all 4 now, and then like granted you get a few months to do it, but it's still like I don't know if I have the time to like get through all of it.
I might crack open the Ronin book after this recording here. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I gotta crack open some book. I got a lot to catch up on. There's a lot of shit that I've bought that I just haven't been able to crack open.
I mean, those are the only Star Wars books I have right now. So
I do the same thing with movies though. Like I buy all these movies and I never get around to them. Like there's some that I never get around to. If I go on like a haul where I have like a stack of Blu-rays, because like I like to go to like Disc Replay, which sells like used Blu-rays for really cheap prices, and they typically have good deals, and you can come out with like 10 Blu-rays at a really nice price. Like you could maybe walk out with 10 Blu-rays for like $25, sometimes. So it's a really good deal, but it's just like
it's too many movies.
How do you get around to them? Like I especially running the channel, we got to watch all the new shit. It's like we're trying to keep up with that.
So we can't get to the stuff that we've bought because we have to watch all this new stuff.
Watch all the new shit. Do a review. Do a spoiler review. It's like trying to figure out who's getting the screening every week has been like a hassle anymore because it's like I'll be honest, like I did not expect you to be the one to do Halloween. Like you did a good job on it, respectfully. But,
I mean, yeah, it's still pumping views.
I'm glad, man. Respectfully, you did a great job.
I mean, it's 673 already right now, so it's just pumping views.
That was one of the ones that I thought I would be going to for sure. Because it was a bigger release I could typically get in over here. And like with you, it's like I send you to like the shit that Adam and I can't do. Typically,
which I mean, those movies are great. Don't get me wrong; they were really good.
Yeah.
For the most part, I mean, like
yeah.
Blue Bayou was really good. Was the one? I mean, Dear Evan Hansen was the other one, but there was another one too that you sent me to. I can't remember.
Oh yeah, Dear Evan Hansen, Halloween, Blue Bayou.
There was one other one I can't remember.
Oh shit, there was.
Because I've been to 4.
There was one
Oh,
before.
Many Saints in Newark.
Many Saints in Newark. That's right. Yeah, yeah. Which I like, but
which
you know,
yeah, which is really good. But
yeah, yeah.
I was surprised. I mean, I was surprised that I got it and that you didn't. Like that shocked me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they never sent it to me. Adam, I can't get a screener for, or yeah, screening. I can't get a screener or screening for him at all anymore. It's like, I don't know why they're not sending me the LA ones, but I'm not trying to bitch at you guys, the studios, if you listen, but
They probably just have to. They're probably just giving out less and less pre-screenings.
Maybe, dude.
Because I did read that they had a limited amount of pre-screenings for the Halloween Kills.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I should say
it. Just don't.
Well,
say it
I'll just put it this way: I'm pretty confident we're all going to be able to go to Eternals. I'm pretty confident.
Ooh, I can't wait for that one.
No guarantees. I'm saying I'm pretty confident we'll all see Eternals. By the way, speaking of Eternals, the premiere was last night.
Wait, you, me, and Adam?
Yeah, I think all three of us might be able to go. Maybe we'll all three get together and do a spoiler on that one, because that'd be
cool. Yeah.
I
did see that they did the red carpet. I did see that.
Last night was the premiere,
yeah,
so people seen it. The reactions are out.
I did watch it on YouTube.
Reactions are out. Some people think that this movie is going to get some Academy nods. That's kind of what
that's what I've read. There's some what's it called out right now? Some
reactions. This is social media reactions. Nobody could do a full review for a while, but
I mean, I've seen reports too saying that like this movie's going to be like amazing.
Yeah,
that it's going to be like one of the most loved movies.
Look, for some people that's going to mean nothing. For me, that typically ends up being the case when people come out of premieres and say the movie's amazing. Typically for me it ends up being the case. Like Shang-Chi is a good example, right? People came out.
Oh my god, I loved that film.
Overwhelmingly positive reactions coming out of Shang-Chi at first, and I loved it. Yeah, exactly. Black Panther, same thing. Most of the Marvel ones have been like that lately, and I've been pretty happy with most of these Marvel movies. Most of them. And then like the other, what was the other? Like Last Jedi is an example for myself, you know, because like that got overwhelmingly positive reactions from the get-go when people came out of that premiere, and I was with them. I loved it just as well. So for me, yeah, that was fun, man. I mean, you know, that movie, I've told you, I think, about my Last Jedi experience a couple times now. I think, when Adam and I went to the fan event, like that was really great at the time, man. I mean, good shit. I still have. I wish I could pull it out right now. I can't. But I do have my action figure set from that I got. That was really nice. Really nice treat that they gave out. From that thing. But that thing was awesome. And we got to see it in the big IMAX 70 millimeter film, which was really awesome that they played it on. So that was enjoyable for sure. But yeah, just really fucking loved it at the time. Still love it. Still love the movie. For sure. But yeah.
I was gonna ask you, where do you go and see when you go watch movies? Where is it exactly you go?
It depends. I mean, for me, so it depends on, okay, so first of all, it depends on what I'm doing that day, because there's potentially 3 different theaters I can go to if I'm near. So a lot of the times it depends on if I'm doing stuff near that theater, already. My preference out here is and I'll shout them out because they've done a really good job, keeping this theater up. Goodrich Quality Theaters, East Side 10, IMAX out here is my preferred out here. They, again, great job keeping it up, and I mean they always have pretty good service for the most part. I mean, there was one time I went and they were just busier than hell. Actually, this wasn't too long ago. This was for Venom 2 when I went. When I went to see Venom 2, they were busier than hell, granted, but the lines were so long, like so many people were ordering hot food, and it was ridiculous because I think we missed like maybe 2 seconds of the movie, maybe, but still, it's like, I don't know, I don't like to wait, you know? So that was one bad experience I had there. Other than that, they've done a pretty good job. So that's my preferred is East Side 10. I do like to actually, My favorite theater to go to over here is the Art House Cinema over at
Okay.
it's called Keystone. It's in Keystone. It's Indianapolis, Indiana, but Keystone is like the area that you go to in Indy, where you like it's a spot in Indy where it's basically like me and Josh kind of coined the phrase "hoity-toity land" because it's filled with rich folk, and
Yeah.
like very wealthy folk. And like you go to that theater, it's something special because it's like you're not gonna go to that theater and you're not gonna go see fucking Spider-Man. They're not gonna play it there. It's not the type of movie that they
Okay.
play. It's all smaller movies, so it's all the small shit that you won't catch anywhere else. That's what I love about it. To me, like I would say Keystone's probably my favorite place to go as a light. Some of the best
Okay.
popcorn you'll have is at Keystone too. They make really good popcorn. Um, and it's a different vibe altogether, different energy. I saw Green Knight there. I've seen quite a few movies there. I saw Beautiful Boy there. I saw Boy Erased there. I saw Can You Ever Forgive Me there. I always have a good time in the theater. I think they do a really good job. And it's
Oh,
different too, man, because
I don't think IMAXs exist at Regal Cinemas.
they have to have one IMAX, don't they? Like at least, like I would imagine. Regal, because they're like a big
Um,
chain. Um, yeah,
where's the one that you sent me to me? I think maybe that one has
maybe.
um because I was gonna say I always go to AMC just because
Mm.
I mean one I have a membership there, uh, and two I mean the theaters there are incredible.
Some people say they prefer the Dolby over the IMAX. I have never tried a Dolby cinema yet, and some people say that's the better one. So
Okay, here
I
we go.
can't confirm that, but then you try a Dolby.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a lot more expensive. I
Mm,
think. Hold on. Yeah, the IMAX at Regal is a lot more expensive than the one in AMC.
mm.
I don't know why. Um,
I don't know. Maybe it's because it's a rarity for Regal. That's
yeah.
possible. It's possible. I mean, I'm sure AMC has more IMAX.
Well, I mean,
Honestly,
there's only I'm looking. There's only one. I'm guessing you mean like in the whole of the United States, yeah. Because there's only one AMC theater here in Atlanta that does
no,
IMAX.
I meant all of the United States. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
We have one here too. I think out here where I'm at though, that only does I think there's only one that does IMAX where I'm at too. And that's the one AMC. My Goodrich has an IMAX, which is great, but the AMC in Indy is the only place you could see IMAX and AMC. But that one is nice. That's a really nice theater. If I ever make it out there, if I can make it out there, I will. That's where my press screenings take place 9 times out of 10 is the AMC, and that one has the IMAX and the Dolby. So I don't know. I really want to try the Dolby Cinema. Like some
Well, I mean,
people.
all my pre-screenings have been at the Regals. Actually, did I have one at AMC? I'm trying to remember. Because the past three I've been to have been Regal.
Right.
Was Blue Bayou a AMC or was that a
Mm,
yeah AMC, yeah. So I've had one AMC and three
I
Regals,
see.
and um the Regal cinemas is really nice though. I'll say that.
That's good. That's good.
I
I've
mean
been to Regals. They're
ooh
okay.
there's a Dolby showing of um Dune
Yeah.
here in this AMC that also has IMAX.
Yeah.
So I don't know, should I go to Dolby or IMAX? I don't know.
I don't know because Dolby is. Some people say it's the better. I don't know. Because Dolby is like okay, so like the thing with Dolby is the sound. That's one of the big takeaways from Dolby is you get the sound, and apparently like the picture itself is better on a Dolby in a Dolby cinema. Like the picture itself is better, but like the thing with IMAX is it's bigger. You know what I mean? So the quality of the picture might not be as good, but the screen is bigger in the IMAX. The Dolby has the better sound and just the better picture quality in general, I guess, is the point of the Dolby. It's different, man, for every movie, though, where I go, because, the summertime, too, I'll say this. In the summertime, I spend a lot of time at the drive-in. I like to go to the drive-in cinema in the summertime over here, because I'm 10 minutes away from the drive-in, so it's very convenient for me.
I've
Um,
I've seen one movie in um drive-in, and that's when I went to go watch Godzilla versus Kong with my friend. We watched it in the theater, and then as soon as we come out of the theater showing, what's playing at the drive-in? Godzilla versus Kong. So
And did you pull in and go?
we literally just pulled in and watched it for
That's a
free.
good experience, though. That had to be fun. Yeah, I Godzilla versus Kong was a good movie.
That was I loved
really
that was a
good movie.
great film. I loved that film so much.
Yeah, that thing made money too. That was like,
Oh yeah, 100%. That was
really made
a
money.
good grossing movie right there.
It did, like, especially it was one of the first like post-pandemic to actually make a lot of bucks. You know, like so yeah, very good on that. Yeah, the second that thing came out on 4K, I bought it, and like, I mean, I saw it on HBO Max prior, but you know, I bought it the second it came out on 4K. Yeah, I've enjoyed some people criticized them. I've really enjoyed this Godzilla versus Kong iteration, or the Godzilla Kong sort of franchise. Like I thought like the first one was really good. The Godzilla was great. I thought King of the Monster, not King of the Monsters, I'm sorry. Kong Skull Island was awesome. Might be my favorite of all of them so far.
Samuel Jackson.
That was a really great movie.
that was a good one.
And it was very underrated, if you ask me, that one.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I thought King of the Monsters was underrated too. It wasn't my favorite of them by any means, but it was very underrated.
That was a good one too. Yeah, I enjoyed that one.
And then Godzilla versus Kong was just such a great culmination of all.
Oh my
of it,
god, yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah. People, and you know what? One of the biggest complaints I heard from that movie is that their fights weren't long enough. That they should have fought longer.
I mean, if they wanted to fight longer, I would have watched it, but I wasn't complaining about what I got either, you know, because the fights were so damn good.
Oh yeah. And at the end when they teamed up and fought that robotic Godzilla, that was incredible.
The Mecha Godzilla, yeah, that was really cool. Yeah,
when they teamed up and fought that thing, that was.
It was great.
They looked at each other and basically said, "Yeah, we can't take this on alone. We need to team up."
I liken that movie a lot to Halloween Kills. The movie gave you what you came to see, you know, and I think that Halloween Kills like executed that well too. Personally, for me, like it did. Yeah. It gives you what you came to see, you know.
True.
I went into Halloween Kills hoping for a lot of fucking kills, and I got it. Godzilla versus Kong, I just wanted to see monsters fight, and I got it. You know. It's like give me what I came to see and I'll be happy. Sometimes it's like sometimes there's certain things I don't need the extra character development. I don't need all that in certain projects. You know what I mean? Last Duel, different situation. Like I'm expecting a lot of character development. I'm expecting a very dialogue heavy movie, and I got it. You know, I had problems with it, but you know, I got what I came for the most part. There's certain things you go to see that for. Godzilla versus Kong, Halloween. Fuck it, you know, I'm going to see, you know, for a certain reason, and the same thing for even like Marvel movies. There are certain things I'm looking to get out of it, but like Marvel movies, I'm expecting a lot of character development. It's just what it's been so far. You know, that they develop their characters really well. They have good stories, good emotional moments. That's the stuff I look for in Marvel. You know, but who cares about the characters in Godzilla versus Kong? I sure don't. You know, it's like
they're monsters. Like who really cares?
Yeah. And that's been one of the problems with like prior iterations of these things is like that they didn't do that. You know, they didn't, you know, have their monsters fight, you know, they too much. It was like they tried to focus in too much about the on the characters themselves. Like look at the Transformers franchise. While the things made money every time, you know, the Transformers franchise was like that they focused way too much on the characters in those, you know.
Right.
Bumblebee I loved, you know, because Bumblebee,
yeah, I still haven't seen that.
Really, it's the best one of all of them, by far.
Really?
By a long shot. Yeah, dude, that movie's amazing. Bumblebee surprised the shit out of me, dude. That movie was fucking awesome.
And honestly, the fact that Andy Serkis plays King Kong is really cool.
Oh, of course. Yeah, it's always a plus. What was I gonna say though? Bumblebee is like, dude, it's everything you've ever wanted from Transformers.
Isn't that one of the newest ones that was released?
It's the latest Transformers, yeah, right now, dude. But Bumblebee is like, it is. It's everything you can.
I don't know. I saw the trailer and I was kind of iffy about it.
No, watch it, dude. Trust me. I think a lot of people were from the trailer, but trust me, the people that did go see it, because it didn't do too well box office wise. I think that a lot of that was the marketing.
I mean, you have Dylan O'Brien, John Cena, Haley Steinfeld.
Yeah, Haley Steinfeld's fantastic in it too. I mean, she's always good, but she's
I mean,
great.
it got a 90% Rotten Tomato and a 74
Yeah,
audience
the people that
score,
did see it
so.
loved it. You know, just unfortunately a lot of people didn't go because the marketing was piss
But
poor and
I mean,
whatnot.
it did awesome box office.
It did, man. It really did. No, it didn't though. Not really though, right? Like, well,
Yeah, so look, cause so they spent their budget was 100. It says 135 mil, right? Their box
okay.
office was 468 million.
Did they really make that much? I thought.
460 box
Whoa.
office 468 million. I literally have it
Yeah,
here pull up on my phone right now.
that's good. That's pretty good then. Okay, well,
Yeah.
good. I'm glad it did well. Yeah. Well, they are making another one, so that makes sense. They're making the
Exactly. They wouldn't make a second one if it
yeah,
didn't
not
have that.
Bumblebee, but it's going to be Transformers: Rise of the whatever. But I'm excited for it because Stephen Cable Jr. is directing, and he did Creed 2. And I thought he did really well with Creed 2.
Yeah,
So,
Transformers: Rise of the Beasts.
yeah, I'm excited to
June,
see Stephen Cable
June
Jr.
20 June 24th. Oh, he did Creed?
Yeah, he did Creed 2. Creed
Oh
2,
my god,
yeah. Creed 2 was It was good.
I have the
It was really good.
I have the IMAX poster.
Oh, really? That's dope.
Hanging up on my wall.
That's
Yeah,
sick, yeah.
it's dude. I had a friend who worked in at AMC in Columbus, Georgia, and he was always able to get like movie posters. I guess that's one of the benefits you get working at AMC is you get to like request posters. So he was like, my friend was like, "Is there any poster you want?" I'm like, "Please, if you can give me the Creed 2 IMAX poster, get it to me." So he got it to me, and I have it literally hung here on the wall. It's like super. It's big. It's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. You know what I'm looking forward to is this Rocky 4, the Stallone cut of Rocky 4 that's coming. It's going to be one night only in the cinemas, apparently. I got to find out when it is. I might have missed it, to be honest. I don't think it's come out yet.
Rocky 4 what?
It's actually called Rocky 4 Rocky versus Drago, but it's the Sylvester Stallone cut of Rocky 4, like the director's cut. And they're going to do it one night only in cinemas. And I really actually want to go. I've been looking forward to it. Stallone's been hyping it up forever. And I really like.
Here we go. It'll hit theaters on November 11th.
Okay, so one night only. You gotta go. I gotta go. Because I want to see it. I think the trailer looks cool.
I might go too, even though I haven't seen all of the Rocky movies. I haven't seen all of them.
Yeah, this will be like, I don't know, because Rocky 4, I know some people are massive fans of it. I'm not one of them. I want to see what Stallone can do to fix it, quote unquote. Because I reckon he wasn't too happy with it either. The fact that he wants to go, back and fix it. You know,
I don't even know. I didn't even know that the Justice League extended cut was 4 hours long. That's
oh yeah, it's phenomenal though.
that is long as.
Well, you can watch it in chapters though, because it's broken up in chapters, so you can watch it like a TV show if you want to.
Okay.
There's like, I think it's broken up into 4 or 5 chapters, so you can watch it like you would a TV show. You could like watch a chapter a night, you know what I mean, and you'd be fine. It does kind of play like a series in a way, like in a way at least. Like you can watch it as a movie and it works just as well, but like if you play it as a series, and who knows, you might just want to keep binging like a series, you know, because you could get through the first chapter and be like, well, now I got to see what happens next, you know. So
True.
It's
True.
like you might, you know, so you think of it. That's the funny thing is like when people complain about the length of movies, but we'll sit there and watch a TV show for 8 hours, you know. It's like these, they're basically, a lot of these TV shows are 8-hour movies, you know. It's like, so
I mean, yeah, true.
8 to 10 hour movies sometimes, you know. So like, why are we bitching about, you know, 4-hour movies?
Yeah, you know what? You're not wrong.
Yeah, because like it's a mental thing. That's all it is. It's a mental thing. You got to get back. Now, granted, you're sitting in a theater, you got to pee. If you're watching like a 4-hour thing in a theater, I get it, because you got to pee. You know what I mean?
Well, it's a good thing that thing was never released in theaters.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they did a limited run, but it wasn't like it was really hard to get into.
I could imagine like the was it Infinity War Endgame that was like 3 hours long. Like I know so many people got up to go pee, bro.
Yeah.
Like
Oh yeah, and I get that complaint of it, but like as far as like having to watch them. If it's good, who cares? You know, like if it's
I was gonna say, and
yeah.
you know, if you're home and it's a 4 hour long movie, I mean, like, what's there really to
Pause
complain
it and
about? It's
finish
like,
it later. Yeah, it's like I
exactly.
don't get the complaint of that.
Or,
You know?
or if you need to pee, just pause it, go pee, come back, and keep watching it.
'Cause I've
Like,
heard people tell me like I'll never watch the Snyder Cut. It's 4 hours. It's like break it up. You can too because it's done in chapters. You can actually watch a chapter a night and you'll be good, and you won't feel the difference. You know, it's like it's so weird to me that people say that they won't watch it because of the length. It's like you can do it. I mean, if the movie's good, it doesn't matter. If
I've already, and
same with the TV show.
I've already saved a couple movies to my HBO Max. Like on my list, I have the Snyder cut of Justice League. I've got Greenland because I heard that was really good.
Greenland is good. It was surprisingly good.
Jared Butler movie. I saw the trailer. I was really interested.
It is good. Yeah.
What other movies do I have saved on there? I have a couple other ones that I've wanted to watch, but because I didn't have HBO Max, I couldn't. I need to save Blade Runner on there.
Do
too,
both Blade
actually.
Runners, yeah. Blade Runner. Make sure, because I don't know if they have all versions of it, because Ridley Scott did 3 versions of Blade Runner. The final cut is the best one. If you can find the final cut on HBO Max, that's the one you gotta watch.
Wait, they have multiple versions on there?
I don't know if they have them all in there. They might just have one cut of it, but if you can do the final cut, that's the version you want to watch.
Final cut of what, 2049?
No, just Blade Runner.
Oh, okay.
Ridley Scott did 3 versions of it. You want to do the final cut. It's his best cut of the movie, by far. I'm pretty sure everybody would tell you that's the best cut of it.
Yeah, no. So they only have the final cut on there.
Okay, good. Then do the final cut, and then, dude, I'm telling you, because like I said, same with like Lat Duel, right? Like I said, like Ridley Scott he's made challenging movies for audiences. Even if you don't like, I'm telling you right now, even if you come out of Blade Runner, you're like, I don't know how I felt about it. Watch the second one. Watch 2049. It'll add appreciation to that first one, and like I think you will like 2049 for sure.
I also added this movie called Freaky. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
Yeah, I love Freaky. It's great.
Yeah, I saved that one on there too because I remember watching the trailer. Really want to watch that one.
And then I know Freaky is really good. Yeah,
I haven't seen it yet, but I want to watch that. Yeah, and then I know you said you didn't like this one, but Voyagers, just because I saw the trailer and.
Oh, I didn't watch Voyager. No, I did watch Voyagers. That's the one. Is that Ty Sheridan one? Is that Ty Sheridan one?
Yeah, that's the one you told me. Yeah, that's the one you told me you didn't like. But I saw the trailer. I saw the trailer and I kind of liked it. So
I was thinking of Vivarium. I haven't seen that one yet. That was the one I was thinking of in my head.
The what?
There's a movie with Jesse Eisenberg called Vivarium that some people told me to watch, and it doesn't look that great to me, but maybe I'll watch it.
2019 film.
Yeah.
With Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah. No, Voyagers I watched. It wasn't good. But you can watch it. I mean, you give your own opinion. You know?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I just remember watching the trailer and really liking it. So.
Oh yeah, I like the trailer too. That's what attracted me to it. I was like, the trailer looks great. Movie sucks, in my opinion. But you form your own opinions.
That's 6 films, right? That's 6 films already right there that I really want to watch.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear your opinion on Blade Runner, especially when you're through 2049. And actually, I don't know if you'll get through it. I do recommend 2049. Do the Blade Runner experience before Dune, because Denis Villeneuve did 2049, and it'll be like a nice little pretext on his filmmaking before you go to Dune, because I think it'll get you more hyped for it, if anything, you know, because
I don't know, Ryan Gosling was in Blade Runner 2049.
Oh yeah, he's the main character. Yeah, you follow him for majority of the movie. Yeah.
Harrison Ford. Ana de Armas. Okay.
Ana de Armas is in it, yeah.
Jared Leto,
yeah. Jared Leto's actually really good in it, yeah.
Mackenzie Davis.
Oh yeah, she is in that, isn't she?
Dave Bautista.
Bautista's great in that movie. He's not in it much, but like his performance is really good for the amount of time he has. Like he's really great.
And then the guy that plays the polka dot man villain, and he's in this one too.
Yeah. Don't watch it without the first one though, because like you won't understand what's going on. I promise.
Well, I mean, obviously, that's usually how movies work.
Some people though watch them without, you know what I mean? They're like, yeah, I'll watch this without watching the first, you know. But watch them both, man. I'm telling you, they're really fucking good. I mean, when you like again, like I think Blade Runner is more of a challenge for the audience, but like I think you'll appreciate it after watching 2049, you know, more, because it's like, oh yeah, that movie's a masterpiece by the time you like get that appreciation in there. I mean, I loved Blade Runner before seeing 2049. I thought it was great, but I also had to watch Blade Runner like 5 times before I can really appreciate it. Like, it took me some time to really appreciate that. I had a hard time the first few times. And then for some reason, it was one of those movies that kept creeping back up on me. Like, I want to see it again and see what I think. It's like, nah, it didn't really work, but worked a little better. Then you watch it like 3 times and it's like, oh, okay, I'm starting to really like it. And then I watched it like the 4th time to prep for 2049 when it came out, and by the time the 4th time I think I was like, oh, I love this movie, it's great. And then like the 5th time I watched it was after 2049, because 2049 made me just like think that movie was an absolute masterpiece and perfect. So yeah, now I'm like a Blade Runner nut. But
I can see that.
it's great, dude. It's great. It's my shit. I want to watch it again. Actually, I'll probably watch that and 2049 before Dune, because at least 2049 because of Denis Villeneuve. I'll probably watch it before Dune. So, which I have to do that by tomorrow. So if I'm gonna make it, so I don't know how between the spoiler review and all that, but
It did an all right box office.
it didn't do well. I mean, like,
Yeah.
it tanked. I mean,
It was a
unfortunately,
185 mil budget with a 259 mil.
I'm worried about that
office.
with Dune, because it's like I think the same thing with Blade Runner. Like the first one, again, it was a movie for audiences that was challenging. It was a challenging movie amongst many film fans. They've reappraised Blade Runner, but it's not a lot that have went back to visit it to be like, oh, this is actually a masterpiece and it aged really well. A lot of people haven't done that with the first Blade Runner.
Well, geez, the first one did pretty good.
Yeah, well, Harrison Ford was coming off of Han Solo and Indiana Jones. Of course,
Oh,
people went to see it.
the first one's also on Netflix.
Oh, is it? Okay. I didn't know that.
Not the final cut.
You need the final cut. The final cut's the
Yeah.
best. Yeah, that was the
Yeah.
other thing too.
The original ones is on Netflix, but not the final cut. The final cut's only on HBO Max.
Yeah, that was the other thing that really helped that movie, was definitely the.
I mean, the first one also tanked.
Well,
it was a 30 mil budget with a 41 million box office. So
yeah, well, see, there you go. Like, just people didn't take to it the first time, but the different cuts helped it, because it did improve amongst time. I like the original cut still. I still like it. I just think the final cut's the best one. The director's cut, not too great. But when he finally went back and was like, I gotta fix my director's cut, he did the final cut. It was like, all right, I get you, Ridley. One of the best movies of all time, still, in my opinion. And the visuals too. That's, even if you're not like huge on the first one when you first watch it, I think you'll be big on it after watching 2049, but you will recognize those visuals are great. For the 80s, like, the great visuals, like, there's without a doubt. But I think you'll probably appreciate it more than a lot of people, because it's that sci-fi thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm a huge sci-fi guy.
Yeah, it's that, you like the sci-fi stuff, so yeah, I think you'll be into it. I mean, for the most part, it's a good time for sure. But yeah, look, man, we're at about 3 hours. I think it's a good place to wrap
3
it.
hours.
So yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Well, that was the thing with the show. I said we might go for 3 hours this time on this thing. I mean, we'll see how it goes, but
it's just because we're just having so much fun just talking.
It's been great, dude.
Time flies.
I'm excited for this iteration, man. I mean, I think that this is so far, man, I'm having a lot of fun doing this show.
Oh, same.
I think
100%.
I think we struck a balance now, like with this show, where we can like really just go off and have a good time and just fucking just have fun.
Because you see, we still talk about news and stuff, but we just have fun with it.
Yeah, but we sprinkle it in. Like, there were other things we could have gotten to, but like, I just like, it's not necessary. It's
right.
It's unnecessary.
Exactly.
It's like,
right.
It doesn't fit with the conversation. It's not like, it doesn't feel like something that would excite me. There's other shit we could have talked about. I mean, there was Cowboy Bebop trailer that came out today. It was like a teaser for the live action movie.
You're making a movie?
Yeah, it looks all right, I guess. I don't know I like the show. I thought it was okay.
They also released a trailer for the last season of, was it Attack of the Titans.
Okay, yeah. See, there you go. I mean, so there's shit we could talk about. It's just like, if it doesn't work with the conversation, or if it doesn't spark the excitement, then why go into it? That's kind of where I'm at, and that's the vibe you guys are gonna get.
Don't get me wrong, I love anime to death. Like, all those shows, I look like Demon Slayer, Hunter x Hunter, Fire Force, Attack of the Titans. Like, I love those shows. Love them to death.
I gotta dive into more, to be honest. I really do. I know. I
I gotta,
recognize that I
bro.
do.
I have a whole list here. One of my friends from Columbus, he's a huge anime fanatic. I have a whole
Right.
list here of animes that he's giving me to watch.
Oh, nice. All right. I had to
I've
try
I've
to dive into more. It's
I've checked off a nice bit of these, but there's still a lot that I need to
yeah.
watch.
I kind of look. I kind of look at it like reading, though, in a way. Like I just don't have the time. You know, I want to. If I find the time, I'll
I
do
mean,
it.
that's the thing is I can't really get into all these other animes that they've
Yeah.
recommended me to because there's just so much other stuff that I need to watch instead.
Yeah. Yeah.
That I can't really get to. I've seen like maybe 6 or 7 of the ones that
Yeah.
they've recommended me to watch, but the other ones I can't really get into because I just don't have time,
Well, it's
especially
like
nowadays.
I know people that like can watch like everything that Netflix is coming out with, like show wise. It's like, where do you find the fucking time? You know, because like to me, it's like I can't get into all these streaming shows. There's no way. Like, I'm not complaining about the length of time that it takes to binge through it. Don't get me wrong. If it's good, I'll watch it. But on the same hand, it's like it's like, where do I find the time between all the movies? Granted, like we run a podcast, you know what I mean? It's like, so you got that,
I mean,
and
I guess I mean if it's a show that I really love, then
yeah,
I'll try and find because at the same time I do have some kind of time on my hands, so I try to find shows to watch to kind of keep me busy.
yeah.
But to watch every single one, I don't know where the hell
No, I
people
know
get
some
that kind
people
of
can
like.
just watch them all. It's like, holy shit! Like, yeah, it's astounding to me how people find the time for all of them. But listen, guys, that's it. That's I almost called this
First
Good Morning
episode of
America. I swear to God, I almost
first
called this Good Morning America. What the fuck?
movie morning.
Yeah.
First episode of movie mornings.
First episode of Movie Mornings, guys. And listen, commenters, let us know. Did you love it? Did you not love it? What can we do better? Tell us. We need the feedback. Don't hesitate. Seriously. The show will be on Spotify. We're going to shoot for this again, I think, next week. Assuming we don't do another one this week. Maybe we will. Maybe we will find the time for that. But I would do eventually I would like to get to 2 a week. But next week, let's shoot for that. Wednesday at 10 a.m. It'll air again. I hope you guys had fun with this. Let us know. But I've been Don Martino once again, your host, and sitting with
I've
me
been Jose Espinel
is my co-host.
as the co-host. Yes.
Yes. And Jose, where can people find you before we go?
Type 1 Latino altogether, all lowercase on all socials and on stereo, of course.
Yeah. And you can find me over at Type 1 Caucasian on Twitter at I'm kidding. You can find me on Twitter at Dom_Martino_, on Instagram, Dom_Martino_ official. Also, make sure you check the show out on Spotify. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're listening on Spotify, check out the show on YouTube. Go subscribe to the channel. Check out all the fun content we have over there for sure. YouTube.com/C/Anorex. So make sure you do that as well.
You should have said type 1 Italian.
Yeah, type 1 Italian. That would have been so much better, and I didn't even think of it. What the fuck? I'm actually Slovenian. But anyway, we got to get out of here. This has been going on long enough. You fucks. Anyway, we're going to leave. So, look, that's it. That's it. Anorex pages, go follow those as well. Twitter, at Anorex Official. Instagram, at Anorex Official. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave feedback in the comment section, share this with your friends, hit the bell for notifications, do all that. Go follow us on Spotify, idiots. All right, we're going to get out of here. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye. Oh.